Part 60. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 591. The landlord was sitting at the door of his house. When he saw Zhang Chen coming back, he stood up and asked, "Did you just come back from Yongcheng?" Zhang Chen said no, he went to the factory with a customer, and I will be back in Yongcheng in the morning. As soon as we meet each other, let's just walk there. It's hard to ride a bike after we have some wine, the landlord said to Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen said yes. The two of them walked out of the courtyard and walked to the street. Zhang Chen asked the landlord, what did the secretary and director want from him? The landlord brother said, I can't figure out what's going on in the brigade. Anyway, they will ask you later. If you can do it, then agree to them. If you can't do it, then repay them well, reject them well. Don't think it's hard to speak. Zhang Chen said yes. Hearing what the landlord said, he was half relieved. At least it shouldn't be what they were most afraid of. The village was going to take back the house. Otherwise, what would it mean to repay them properly? The landlord also knows that they have invested a lot of money in renovating and building those simple houses and building awnings there. If they really want to take back the house, they will definitely refuse, and there will inevitably be a squabble. What else can they do to pay a good return? The two of them arrived on the street and walked to the village committee at the end of the street. Zhang Chen saw that the landlord had no intention of turning in, but continued to move forward. They passed the village committee and saw a small hotel next to the village committee building. The hotel didn't even have a name. If the landlord hadn't brought him here today, Zhang Chen wouldn't have known there was such a store here. When they usually go shopping, they always walk to the village committee, thinking they are at the end of the street, but they don't expect there to be a store behind. The landlord walked in with Zhang Chen. The hotel was very small. A cashier and wine counter took up 1/6 of the space. There were 3 or 4 tables in the remaining space. It was time for dinner. But there was no one in the store, and even the kitchen in the back was quiet. A pretty lady boss in her 30s, with a shiny face, stood behind the cashier. She looked calm, as if she had long accepted such a miserable situation. The landlord asked, "Is old 5 here?" The landlady shouted, come on, it's in the box." Walking into a small door next to the counter, there is a hall of 2 or 3 square meters. Directly opposite there is a plastic curtain, open, which is the kitchen. On the left side of the hall is a gender-neutral toilet, and on the right is a closed door. The door is open. The landlady pushed the door open, and Zhang Chen saw the village party secretary, village committee director, and village accountant sitting inside. Seeing them, the 3 people raised their right hands to greet them almost at the same time, as if they were rushing to speak. Zhang Chen quickly said, I'm sorry, there's something going on in the factory, so I kept you waiting for so long. The secretary smiled and said, we have nothing to do, we are just sitting here, bragging and drinking tea. After sitting down, Zhang Chen understood. No wonder the store didn't even have a signboard, and there wasn't much business in the store. The proprietress was still there. It turned out that the biggest customer of her store should be the village committee, and the landlord in front of her was the 5th person who asked the question, didn't know which one of the 3 it was. The moment the landlord and Zhang Chen walked in, the kitchen started to get busy, with the sound of igniting a fire and the sound of a horse spoon hitting a pot. After a while, the landlady started serving wine and food. What they drank was bottled Gaiyu Longshan Jiafan wine. The food here was not served on plates, but in white-tasting pots and basins. Come up, braised mutton, soft-shelled turtle in red soup, loach rolled tofu, old duck pot, tripe chicken, the table is full in no time. The director told Zhang Chen that they were all local dishes, and he didn't know if Boss Zhang was used to eating them. Zhang Chen quickly said that they were very good, very tempting to look at. He quickly picked up his chopsticks and picked up a piece of mutton. To support your words. A bottle of wine with food is a minimum for each person, and they don't pour each other's wine. They all share the responsibility. Zhang Chen stood up and toasted each of the four of them a glass in turn. His bottle of wine was at the bottom. The accountant called out and the landlady hurriedly took it. "Come in with a drink." The secretary and the boss's wife said, "This boss, you don't even give him a toast." The landlady smiled brightly and said, "I respect you, of course I have to respect you. Thank you, Boss Zhang, for the honor." The proprietress took an empty cup from the table next to her, filled it up first, and then filled it up for Zhang Chen. She raised the cup, touched it with Zhang Chen, and drank it in one gulp. Everyone else shouted and looked at Zhang Chen. Zhang Chen could only drink it all in one gulp, and the others continued to applaud. Next, the boss lady went through the customs, from secretary to director to accountant, and finally to the landlord. Each person had a drink. When toasting someone, the boss lady held the wine glass in her right hand and put her left hand around the other person's shoulder, as if she couldn't do it. Those who drank deliberately made difficult expressions, and those who watched clapped their hands. After they had finished drinking, the landlady stopped going out. Instead, she sat down between the secretary and the director and ate with them. After drinking this round of wine, we started talking about business. The director talked to Zhang Chen, and only then did Zhang Chen understand the purpose of inviting him to drink this wine today. It turns out that since the speech during the southern tour, the whole country has stopped arguing and focused on economic development. Economic tasks are now being assigned at all levels and the implementation is checked at all levels. Even their village and town have issued investment quotas to them. This Sanbeo village is incomparable with the other villages closer to Hangzhou. It used to be that everyone was a vegetable farmer and there were no village-run enterprises. Later, Sijiking village became very popular with its market, and the Wufa village next door had steel pipe factories. The boiler factory is also doing a decent job. Sanbeo used to have a market, the cigarette market. In the past few years, there were many customers and life was very good. However, this market later turned into a counterfeit cigarette distribution center. Every stall displayed genuine cigarettes. Cigarettes are secretly in the business of counterfeit cigarettes, and have been raided several times by the industrial and commercial authorities and the police. In addition, now that cigarettes have begun to be monopolized by the state and tobacco companies have been established in various places, this market no longer needs to exist. It has been ordered to close down or transform. However, a market is easy to open and close down. There are a lot of leftover problems, and the business owners are making trouble every day, which is very annoying. As for what to do with market transformation, they have no idea yet. Apart from this, there are no other companies or resources in this village, but your superiors don't care about you. When assigning tasks, they are one size fits all. No one can escape. Seeing that this year is almost over, this investment promotion, the task, even the eggs haven't been opened yet, is giving them headaches every day. There are several garment processing factories in the village, but these factories are all in rented houses of the villagers. They don't even have licenses and are very small in scale. You said you were attracting investment and you attracted so many garment processing factories. You report it, but the superiors won't recognize it. They thought about it and decided that Zhang Chen looked like a garment factory and had a certain scale. He was still in their house in the village. They reported him as a project to attract investment. When the superiors came to inspect, which makes sense. The reason why they invited Zhang Chen here today was to discuss with him to see if he could register a company, a serious clothing company, so that they could report this newly registered company as an achievement in attracting investment. After Zhang Chen heard what the director said, he said yes without thinking, no problem. Originally, Zhang Chen also wanted to register a company even if they didn't tell him. When he applied for a license, he had no choice but to apply for a processing plant license for an individual industrial and commercial household because of insufficient registered capital. Now, I have no problem with the registered capital. After I have a formal company, it will be more conducive to the development of my business. Promising them is just a favor, so why not do it? The three of them became happy when Zhang Chen agreed. The accountant asked, "Boss Zhang, how much is the registered capital of your company?" "Does this matter a lot?" Zhang Chen asked. "Big, big," the director said. "The investment attraction index is based on the registered capital of the companies you introduce. Of course we hope that the bigger the better. The bigger your place is, the less pressure we will have left." Zhang Chen thought for a moment and realized that if he was tighter, he could borrow 2 million. If he asked Lu Ligan or Meng Ping to borrow 3 million, he could get 5 million. This loan is different from borrowing money. This time it is a temporary loan for registering a company. From the time the money comes in and the capital verification report is issued, to the company license, and then the business license, tax registration certificate, account opening license, and code certificate are obtained. After the basic settlement account is opened, transfer the registered capital from the capital verification account to the basic settlement account, and then transfer it back. The full calculation of these 3 million will only take 2 weeks. Zhang Chen felt that it would not be embarrassing to open this mouth. He would open it, and Lu Ligan or Meng Ping would definitely agree. Zhang Chen said to the director, "How about I raise the registered capital to 5 million? "Very good." The director shouted that their original plan was to see if Zhang Chen could do some work here and ask him to increase the registered capital to 80 to 1 million. Unexpectedly, before he even opened his mouth, Zhang Chen came to him for 1 million. 5 million registered capital was not considered small at the time. The director looked at the secretary and accountant, and all three of them laughed. The secretary picked up the cup and said, "Come on behalf of our village, I would like to toast to Boss Zhang first." Zhang Chen quickly raised his glass, clinked it with the secretary and drank it all. The landlady looked at it and shouted, "This boss, drinking and doing things are very refreshing." The director smiled and said, "You like Boss Zhang so much, why don't you have a drink with him? Just drink. My old lady also eats young grass today." The proprietress picked up the cup and everyone laughed. When the proprietress reached this point, other people started making noises again. Zhang Chen felt that it would be a bit too pretentious not to drink. Anyway, everyone was just having fun and making fun of themselves. Zhang Chen also stood up holding the cup. The landlady came over and looked at Zhang Chen with a smile. The hand holding the cup slipped from Zhang Chen's hand. The two of them hooked up and finished a glass of wine. Others cheered and clapped their hands. After Zhang Chen sat down, the accountant looked at the secretary and director, and said to Zhang Chen, "Boss Zhang, what do you think of these two leaders in our village?" Zhang Chen quickly said, very good, very good. I am here only because of their strong support. I am very grateful to them from the bottom of my heart." Zhang Chen said, clasping his hands and bowing to the secretary and director. The two of them waved their hands humbly. "Then are you used to being in our village?" the accountant then asked. Zhang Chen looked at the landlord and said to the accountant, "I'm so used to it. If I were asked to change places now, I would definitely be reluctant to part with it." "Well, Boss Zhang, I have a suggestion. I didn't tell the two leaders about this. I just thought of it myself. I think you can just buy our place," the accountant said. Zhang Chen was surprised and bought it. What does it mean? There was no problem in registering the company, but when it came to buying that place, I never thought that I would go to the countryside to buy such a dilapidated house. Look, Boss Zhang, I went to your factory to see it. To be honest, our original shabby house is not worth a penny. It is not as valuable as the houses you built yourself, but that place, the house is not valuable, and the place is actually not small. After your company is established, there will definitely be a big development, right? You can't always be like this, building a little today and a little tomorrow. In this way, it is actually not cost effective for you. The money you spend in this thing will not add up to a small amount of money over time. If you buy that place, you can replan it and make it look decent. Wouldn't it be nice to build a few houses? When the accountant said this, the secretary and director remained silent and looked at Zhang Chen. Thank you Lao Chantang for the tip. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 592. The accountant said it was his own idea, which was of course a lie. In fact, it was the director who first proposed this matter. Both the secretary and the accountant thought it was a good idea. When they first thought about it, Zhang Chen registered the company, and they part of the task can be accomplished this year, but what about next year? Now there is not only the task of attracting investment, but also the annual village output value assessment. Zhang Chen and the others can rent here this year and other places next year. They watched Zhang Chen's factory grow and it is developing at a very fast pace. Quick. For a company with a registered capital of 5 million, if you can't keep the 7 forts and 9 forts, you won't come to dig them up. Now for these villages that are slightly remote from Hangzhou, the task pressure of each village is very heavy. If he could buy that place, they wouldn't be afraid that he would run away. That place had been in decay for many years. For them, if they could sell it, it would be turning waste into treasure. The most important thing is that after their cigarette market was shut down, the village was under great financial pressure. Just for this hotel, the village still owed more than 20,000 yuan, and the boss lady was so annoying every day. The director said to Zhang Chen, Accountant Ge's words are quite good. Boss Zhang, there are more than 10 acres of land there. You really need to make use of it and build 2 buildings like our village committee. More than 10 acres. Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment. He felt that he was not an outsider, and he still had some eyesight. No matter how much he calculated, that place could not be more than 10 acres, but only about 6 acres at most. Accountant Ge seemed to see what Zhang Chen was thinking. He said, "Oh, that's it? That piece of land, according to the land certificate, is 10.02 acres. It's not just the house and drying field you see now, but also the surrounding area." The surrounding area turned out to be deserted. Then, the villagers here dug up all these areas and expanded the vegetable fields, which turned them into what they are now. Anyway, they left them uncultivated, so let them do as they pleased. But don't worry, if you really want to buy it, we will definitely measure you out again, surround it with stakes and lines, and hand it over to you every inch. It was originally the village's land, and they have been using it in vain for so many years, and now they are letting them vomit it. There is nothing to say when you come out, including your uncle. Accountant Ge said and glanced at the landlord. The landlord smiled and said, all kinds of land are not worth the money. If the brigade headquarters wants to take it back, just take it back. Who has the words to say? By the way, if Xiao Zhang wants to buy it, how much will it cost? Asked the landlord. 180,000, the accountant said. Gaju, are you kidding me? The landlord scolded. You want to sell such a rubbish place for 180,000 yuan? The secretary quickly winked at the landlord and signaled him to stop talking. The secretary looked at Zhang Chen, as if he was not very willing. The secretary said, well, Boss Zhang, if you want it, I will make the decision and sell it to you for 150,000 yuan. These people took turns to fight, which made Zhang Chen a little overwhelmed. He was a person who really didn't know how to reject others. He really didn't want it, so he could only pay the favor well. He said, I still have to go back and discuss this matter. The director smiled and said, of course, it's 150,000 yuan, not 15 yuan. Of course you have to go back and discuss it with your wife about such a big thing. Come on, let's have a drink. Everyone raised their glasses. After this meal, everyone except Zhang Chen had a knot in his heart. Everyone drank happily. Although they did not convince Zhang Chen to buy the land, Zhang Chen had already agreed to register a company with a registered capital of 5 million. The company, this is what they are most urgent about right now. As for the piece of land, Zhang Chen did not explicitly refuse it, saying that he would go back to discuss it. To discuss it means that there is still hope. When it was about to end, Zhang Chen asked the proprietress, where is the bathroom? The landlady said it was right across the street. Zhang Chen said I didn't see it, or you could take me there. Others just laughed, booed, and went away. The landlady quickly took Boss Zhang to him. He drank too much. Please help him pick up the spout of the teapot. The landlady stood up and cursed, okay, I'll take out each of you later and look at it. I'll cut off the youngest one. Zhang Chen's face turned red when they talked about it, and the others laughed wildly. The landlady put an arm around Zhang Chen's shoulder and went out. When they got outside, Zhang Chen told the landlady, I actually want to ask you to come out to settle the account. I will pay for today's order. The landlady was overjoyed. She originally thought that today's meal of old wine would get another white note, but she didn't expect that when she met such a 60-year-old, she would rush to pay for it. She could still see cash today. When the calculation came out, the total was 382 yuan. The landlady said happily, that's 306. Zhang Chen took out 400, gave it to the proprietress, and told her, there's no need to look for it. It's not easy for you to open this store. In one sentence, the boss lady almost shed tears. Yes, she eats and laughs with her every day. She also asks them to wipe off the oil from time to time. They talk and laugh while eating old wine. It's so good. I had sex with all of them, and when it came time to pay the bill, I wouldn't let my stomach drop, uncomfortable, unhappy, and all of them had faces that were longer than horses. When a group of people came out, Accountant Ge heard from the landlady that there was no need to sign the order. Boss Zhang had already bought it. Accountant Ge patted Zhang Chen on the shoulder and said to him, Boss Zhang, you are a reliable person. Think about it, it's really good. Zhang Chen nodded and said yes, I will seriously consider it when I get back. Zhang Chen and the landlord walked back. The landlord said to Zhang Chen, if you don't want that crappy place, just tell me and I'll repay them. I know you can't say it, it's okay, I've already agreed. Even if you help them register a company, they shouldn't overdo it. Zhang Chen agreed with him. Zhang Chen returned to the room and immediately called home. His mother answered the phone and told him that Xiao Zhao was coaxing his son to sleep in the room. As soon as his mother finished speaking, Xiao Zhao heard Zhang Chen's mother's words in the room and walked out with her son in her arms. Zhang Xiangbei was in his mother's arms, his eyes wide open. It's been so long and you still haven't been coaxed to sleep, Zhang Chen's mother asked. Xiao Zhao smiled bitterly and shook his head. Zhang Chen's mother handed the microphone to Xiao Zhao, who took it from Zhang Xiangbei. Xiao Zhao put the microphone next to her son's face, and said to her son and the father on the other side of the phone. Smelly son, listen, let's hear your stinky father's voice. Zhang Chen quickly shouted, Xiangbei, Xiangbei, Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei seemed to be confused by the sound. He turned his head around and couldn't see where the sound came from. He was silently stunned for a while and simply started crying. Zhang Chen's mother quickly hugged him away and asked Xiao Zhao to answer the phone. Xiao Zhao gloated and said, look, your son was so scared that he cried and asked, what's the matter? Zhang Chen told Xiao Zhao what he had just come back from drinking. Xiao Zhao then remembered how he had forgotten that Zhang Chen was going back today to drink with the people in the village. Xiao Zhao shook his head and laughed himself. It seemed that Sister Chu was right. After having a son, his attention was all on his son throughout the day, and he would forget even such important things. Fortunately, nothing bad happened, and Xiao Zhao breathed a sigh of relief. Zhang Chen then told Xiao Zhao that the village wanted them to buy the place for 150,000 yuan. When Xiao Zhao heard this, he shouted, "No, why did we buy such a shabby place? In our village, there is a town hall bigger than this. No one wants to sell it for 2,000 yuan. Hey, don't be confused. You didn't promise them, right?" "No, I told them they still need to think about it." Xiao Zhao breathed a sigh of relief and said, "There is nothing to consider. Think about it, we rent that place now for 6,000 a year, only 60,000 for 10 years, and only 120,000 for 20 years. For 150,000, it's better to put it in the bank. If this money is put in the bank, I don't know how much interest it will generate in 20 years. Zhang Chen said yes, and the eldest brother also told me that if we don't want it, just tell him, and he will help us tell the village. I will tell the eldest brother tomorrow that we don't want it. I am also thinking that we want to work in such a shabby place." "Well, that's right." Xiao Zhao nodded and said, "After drinking so much wine, go to bed early. I have to go to coax your stinky son." Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Go ahead, I have to call Zanzi and tell him about the registered capital." Xiao Zhao looked at Zhang Chen's father, who was staring at the TV. She turned around and made a soft bang sound with her lips. Zhang Chen laughed and said something back to her. Xiao Zhao turned the phone by. Zhang Chen then dialed Lu Ligan's phone number. As soon as Lu Ligan called Zhang Chen, someone snatched his big brother from his hand and shouted, "Brother Zhang Chen, I heard that Xiao Zhao is pregnant. Hurry up and ask Xiao Zhao to answer the phone." Zhang Chen was stunned for a moment. He recognized Wen Wen's voice and said quickly, "Xiao Zhao is not here. He has gone back to my house to have his confinement period." Wen Wen sighed heavily. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "That's not right, how come you two are together? We are all at home. Why, this guy didn't tell you that Jian and I returned to Haikan. After all, I mean, it's only about 9 o'clock now, why is the Pole at home? He has been at home these 2 days and is very well behaved. He will be back as soon as he gets off work." Jian came over and shouted, "Brother Zhang Chen, he was abandoned by the girl. No one wants him. He is rotten." Zhang Chen and Wen Wen Jian both laughed. Lu Ligan glared at Jian, snatched the eldest brother back from Wen Wen's hand, and shouted, "If you fart, hurry up. You go to the humming corridor outside, I have something important to talk to you about." Lu Ligan stood up and walked to the corridor outside. Wen Wen followed. Lu Ligan pushed her away and told her that we were talking about business. Wen Wen flattened her mouth and stood still. Lu Lizan came to the corridor, leaned against the railing of the corridor, and said to Zhang Chen, "I'm outside, you tell me." Zhang Chen told him about borrowing money to register a company. After listening, Lu Ligan asked, "As you said earlier, how much money do you have now?" "More than 2 million. Not bad, haha, you've made it through the humming years, and now you're rich." Zhang Chen chuckled and then asked, "Damn it, you haven't answered me yet. Can you help me raise 3 million? I've already blown the truth and want to register a 5 million company. If you register a company, your 2 million won't be available for half a month. What if you need it urgently again? I've calculated that there won't be any big expenses recently. Just in case, understand," Lu Ligan said, "in this way, don't touch your own money. I will help you with the registered capital." You can just pay in and out in one lump sum. I will tell Huang Jianren tomorrow. Huang Jianren? This kid is back again, isn't he? Zheng Wei. Zheng Wei has been transferred back to Beijing. Ah, what happened? It's okay, they can do it. You don't know it yet. They are always so talkative about everything. But this time Huang Jianren came with his wife, so I don't have to worry. What happened to you and Zheng Wei? Zhang Chen asked. It's nothing. Really do not have. Real. So, are you okay now? Okay, I just had a phone call with her earlier. As long as we don't get caught by her husband, we'll be fine, Lu Ligan said, laughing. You're so shameless. Yes, I'm just shameless, and you didn't just find out today. Lu Ligan continued to smile. Okay, let's talk about your business. When will the money be used? Just for the next few days, their village seems to be in a hurry. I plan to go to the Industrial and Commercial Bureau tomorrow afternoon. Okay, I will ask Huang Jianren to prepare 20 million for you tomorrow. If you want to use it, I can call you at any time. Zhang Chen was taken aback and cursed, you are damn sick, why should I ask for 20 million? Thank you to Smiling and Running Y for the reward. Thank you for all the recommendation votes and reading. I wish everyone good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 593. You're the one who's humming sick. Do you know about registering a company, or does my dignified director Lu know about it? You just want to register a company worth 20 million, Lu Ligan said. No, no, no. Shut up, Lu Ligan cursed. Tell me first, why do you want to register a company? Their village wants me to register. If the village didn't find you, wouldn't you have registered yourself? I still will, Zhang Chen said honestly, it's just that the time is not so urgent, but I will definitely register by next year at the latest. You miss the days when people called you Mr. Zhang, right? Lu Ligan said with a smile. Zhang Chen thought for a moment and laughed. He said it was quite a bit. Mr. Zhang sounded more comfortable than Boss Zhang. Why, do you like others to call you Mr. Lu? I like people to call me landlord, and now the landlord in Haikan is the coolest. Now, let's talk about why you need to register a company. Without a company, you just hold the license of an individual industrial and commercial household. Isn't this business the same? Lu Lirod asked. Well, there is a difference. I think, especially when you go out to discuss business, you always feel that you are a company, and people trust you more than a self-employed person, Zhang Chen said. When you take out the business card, you will feel different about yourself, right? Zhang Chen said, okay, you're right, it's different. What the hell do you want to say? Haha, what I want to say is what I want to say next. Tell me again, between big companies and small companies. Don't talk about others, just talk about yourself. For example, if you have a batch of fabrics that need to be produced, do you trust the big companies more? Or a small company? Needless to say, of course it's a big company. How do you know it's a big company? I mean, if you haven't visited their company and have to sign an agreement right away. You need to sign an agreement, don't you have to provide a copy of the business license? With just a license, how can you tell the size of the other company? This. Zhang Chen knew what Lu Lizan was going to say. Damn it, he got involved. Now that you have two business licenses in front of you, do you think the one with a registered capital of 5 million is bigger, or the one with a registered capital of 20 million? Well, don't beat around the bush, don't you just think 20 million is better? Of course, there is another one you know. What? According to the new registration system, for a company with 5 million yuan, you need to go to the Hangzhou City Industrial and Commercial Bureau to register. The name of your company is Hangcheng Company. If it is 20 million, you can go to the Provincial Industrial and Commercial Bureau to register your company tomorrow. When you look up, it means a company in Zhejiang. When people look at Zhejiang, they know you are a big company. Not 5 million? What kind of company in Zhejiang can't be linked to 5 million? No, if the registered capital is less than 10 million, it must be registered with the municipal and prefecture level industrial and commercial bureaus. If the company is less than 5 million, if your company is not in Hangzhou or in Yongcheng, you can't even register in Hangcheng, you can only register in Yongcheng. Although Yongcheng belongs to the Hangcheng area, the company's title and registered capital are the hurdles. Zhang Chen nodded, I learned it, there is still this thing to pay attention to. Lu Ligan continued, if you want to register this company, register a big company. The bigger, the better. The bigger it is, the more convenient it will be for your future business development. This is why many companies continue to increase their registered capital. This is also goodwill. You know, the higher your goodwill, in the short term, you have to pay some price. What price? The registration fee is charged in proportion to the registered capital. If it is 5 million, it will be 0.8% per thousand, and it will be 4,000. If it is 20 million, it will be 0.4%, and it will be 8,000. This doesn't matter. I know you don't care about these thousands of dollars, Lu Ligan said, this registered capital will only feel small when you need it. By then it will be too late for you to regret it. For example, if you want to find a bank loan. I don't need money. Don't brag. You don't need it now. As your company develops, whoever dares to guarantee the bank will not need a bank. Besides, for example, if your company has a 5 million yuan company and you want a loan of 5 million yuan, the first step is to go to the bank. They will get rid of you and think you are not qualified, but if you loan 10 million to a company worth 20 million, people will think that your loan subject is fine. Zhang Chen secretly thought to himself that he had really never thought about these, and it seemed that there was no need to think so far. However, Lu Ligan's previous sentence was right. If a company worth 20 million goes out to discuss business, it's definitely more convenient than 5 million. Zhang Chen felt that he was a little moved by his words. Also, if people in the village ask you for help, don't think that you are helping them. In fact, you are also helping yourself, Lu Ligan continued. Zhang Chen didn't understand and asked, how can I say this? If you help them, they will definitely help you. If there is any benefit, they will think of you. 20 million, I think it should be the largest company in the area, right? Should be. Well, companies in one place would rather be the head of the chicken than the tail of the phoenix. Now governments at all levels are focusing on the economy and there is a lot of policy support. If you are the largest local company, all the benefits will definitely be given to you. I won't give it to those small businesses. I have personal experience with this. What the hum was your experience? Look at Mengping, how busy this guy is every day, either eating with this one or singing with that one. Look at me, do I do these stupid things every day? You're busier than him, and you're doing even worse things, Zhang Chen scolded. Haha, that's right, but there are fundamental differences between him and me. That's not because of the young masters and princesses behind you. This is just one of the reasons, the more important thing is not this. What is that? The tallest building in Haikan. Our project, plus Xinview Island, is the largest development project in Haikan. With these two in hand, we have the green light to do whatever the hell we do. I'm telling you, Zhang Chen, you have to figure it out. Those who are officials want to get benefits, but they also want political achievements. Without political achievements, they can't keep their official positions. So when we are in the company, you need to meet one of the two. He is very fond of you, don't think that being an official only benefits, if you can create political achievements for him, it will be the same. Zhang Chen thought about it and realized that Lu Ligan's words still made sense. How about it, have you figured it out? Lu Ligan smiled. Okay, I guess what you said makes sense. What is calculation? Everything I say is true. I, Lu Ligan, am Lu Lily. You. Okay, then it's settled. I asked Huang Jianren to prepare 20 million for you. If you are less than 1 million, I won't allow him to fight. Okay, 20 million is just 20 million, it's a big deal. How is my son? Lu Ligan asked. Okay, I just talked to him on the phone. Zhang Chen chuckled. He knows how to make bullshit phone calls now. Are you calling Xiao Zhao? Lu Ligan smiled and said, no way, Zhang Chen, you now have to ask a confinement man first for such bullshit as registering a company. Instead of asking Director Lu for advice first. Go away, I still have something to talk to her about. Bed matter? It's still too early to talk about bed matter. This matter will be settled naturally. You think it's just the men who are suffering, but the women are also suffering for such a long time. You, do you think everyone is as rogue as you? Haha, I'm not a hooligan, I'm real. You are the hypocrites. Tell me, what are you hypocritically discussing? Zhang Chen said angrily, we discussed buying a house, do you want to listen? Yes, are you going to buy a house? No, the village wants to sell the house to me. Ah, what's going on? Tell me, tell me. Zhang Chen treated accountant Ge's proposal as a joke and told Lu Ligan. How many acres of land do you think it is? Lu Ligan asked. 10 points and 2 acres. How much did it cost you? 150,000. Zhang Chen, are you humming stupid? Isn't this the benefit I told you? Do you think they will sell the place to you if you don't agree to register the company? They want to keep you, idiot, bastard, such a good thing, why are you hesitating? Don't think about it for a minute, of course you buy it. You, why do I need that land? In this poor rural area, surrounded by vegetable fields, I bought it to dry pickles. Woolen Plaza is in a good location. Do you want to buy something and sell it to you? Lu Ligan was extremely angry and continued to curse. Idiot. What kind of rural area? Your current market was not a rural area before? Shanghai was still a fishing village before. This city will not develop. If the city wants to develop, where will it develop? In the air? Of course it will be towards the suburbs, Sijiking. Now you go find a piece of land and show it to me, and you can see what the price is. But Xiao Zhao didn't agree. She said that in their village, no one wanted 2,000 for a town hall bigger than this. Zhang Chen said. This is pissing me off. If you are by my side, see if I can kill you. For such a big deal like land sales, you don't ask me and Meng Ping, 2 experts. Go ask a pregnant woman who came out of a ravine in Sichuan. Damn it, where is Xiao Zhao and his family's hometown? Where is Sanbao? Okay, Zhang Chen, I'm too lazy to talk to you stupid ass. If you're like this, call Meng Ping right now and ask him. If he doesn't encourage you to buy it, I'll twist off his head and give it to you. Why do I want your head? I won't call Meng Ping if it's not round when I kick it. In this matter, he and you are the same. Zhang Chen scolded back, anyway, I just don't think it's a good deal for me to buy that crappy place. When we acquired the land on Lonkan North Road, did you think it was a good deal? Lu Ligan asked. Zhang Chen was startled. Yes, to be honest, when Lu Ligan wanted to invest in the land to rent it, he was not optimistic about it at first. He was not even interested in seeing where the land was. He just held it. What the hell are you doing? If you want to do this so badly, just take the money. After the land was finalized and I went to see it, I finally understood it, and then I came up with the idea of Chinatown. But since the dream of Chinatown was shattered, I had forgotten about it. I didn't expect that in the end, the person who saved me and gave me the startup capital would give me back this piece of land. Zhang Chen had to admit that in this regard, Lu Ligan and Meng Ping's sense of smell was more sensitive than his own, otherwise their careers would not be so big. It was like he only remembered how to design the style when he saw the fabric. And they are more like wolf dogs, able to immediately sniff out things that others cannot see from a pile of chaos or nothingness. He also truly believed that if he asked Meng Ping about it, Meng Ping would not hesitate and would definitely encourage him to buy it. Could it be that he and Xiao Zhao were really wrong? Or is it because Lu Ligan doesn't understand the situation in Hangzhou at all? No, Lu Ligan didn't know anything else. He at least knew where the three forts were. Zhang Chen hesitated. "Hey, are you still there?" Lu Lizan called after hearing that there was no sound from his eldest brother for a long time. "I'm here," Zhang Chen said. "In this case, Zhang Chen, please do me a favor," Lu Ligan said. "What's the deal?" "You go to the village first tomorrow. First, tell them that you want to register a company with a value of 20 million. Second, tell them that you have thought about it and you are going to buy that place. I estimate that they will be more active and immediately I have to sign a sale agreement with you. I am afraid that your big fish will run away. You should buy that place first. If you regret it after buying it. By the way, don't discuss this matter with Xiao Zhao. In this kind of matter, a woman's brain is unreliable and will only shake the morale of the army. Tell her after you buy it. If she has any objections or you feel regretful, when the 20 million is paid back, you pay 150,000 less. I bought this land and gave it to Zhang Xiangbei, okay? You, who wants you to send it? Then do you want to buy it? If not, I will fly back to Hangzhou tomorrow and I will buy it. Okay, long-winded. If you buy it, it's only 150,000 yuan. So what if it's all in vain? Haha, that's right. You have to have such courage. I think highly of you, so don't mess around with me." Lu Ligan laughed. After talking to Lu Ligan, Zhang Chen still called home. Zhang Xiangbei finally fell asleep. Xiao Zhao heard the phone ringing in the living room and ran out. Zhang Chen told Lu Ligan that he had just talked on the phone. "I told Xiao Zhao about the situation." After hearing this, Xiao Zhao thought for a moment and said, "If both Zhuangzi and Meng Ping think this place is worth buying, then we will buy it. I think they know better than us in this aspect." Zhang Chen said, "Yes, then we will listen to him and buy it." Thank you Pai Wuzun and U205155936 for your monthly votes. Thank you Tin Soldier, ranked third from top to bottom, reading books every day, and 131 on the shore for your continued rewards. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Happy Sunday everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 594. Lu Ligan sat down in the office, picked up the phone on the table, dialed Huang Jianren's office, and told him, "Come here." After a while, Huang Jianren walked in, and Lu Ligan said to him, "You prepare 20 million, I will use it in the next few days." "Okay, Mr. Lu, which construction companies should be paid?" "I will check their project progress and see how much each of them should pay," Huang Jianren said. He thought that 20 million, such a large number, must be a progress payment to the construction company, and it would not be just one company. These guys are the best at pretending to be poor when they come in front of Lu Ligan, and some of them clearly did not meet the contract stipulations. And came to ask for money early, not because Lu Ligan was a good talker. Lu Ligan shook his head. He said no, it was not for the construction company. It's me personally. I need to borrow 20 million from the company in a short period of time, which will take about half a month. Huang Jianren was taken aback. He sat down opposite Lu Lipole and asked, "Do you want to use it personally?" "Mr. Lu, what trouble have you encountered?" Seeing the seriousness on Huang Jianren's face, Lu Ligan wanted to tease him deliberately. He sighed and smiled bitterly, "I can't help it. I made someone's belly bigger and got entangled." "Who is it?" "His grandma's 20 million. Did you get one with hundreds of carats of diamonds, or a princess of some country? For this kind of thing, giving 51 million is considered generous. Damn it, you are so stingy that you can just throw away 51,000 when the gun went off. Then it doesn't cost 20 million. It's still public money. Do you know that if you transfer the money like this and you can't repay it, it's considered corruption? I am colluding in the corruption." "Hey, no, you gave her 20 million, half of it what can I pay back in a month?" You, my ass is on fire here, you still care about these trivial things?" "I won't give it, I won't let others threaten me, saying that they want to expose me, I will die, so I should deal with the situation in front of me first. Besides, in half a month, don't worry, I'll beg my grandpa and grandma to borrow 20 million and return it to the company." When Huang Jianren heard this, he became even more unhappy. He said, I thought no matter how I threatened you, jumping off a building would be a greater threat than being exposed. If she is exposed, then let her be exposed. She won't give you a penny. Anyway, so are you." When Huang Jianren said this, he stopped talking and looked at Lu Ligan being silly and happy. Lu Ligan cursed. "What the hell do you mean? Are you trying to say that I'm a bad person to begin with, so I'm afraid of being exposed, right?" Huang Jianren laughed, "I didn't say it, Mr. Lu, you said it yourself, but your evaluation of yourself is very fair. When have you, Mr. Lu, ever been afraid of women?" "You." Lu Ligan stood up and was about to hit him. Huang Jianren quickly stepped aside. He also saw that Lu Ligan was joking with him, so he thought, this guy had too much breakfast and was looking for me to eat up. He wanted to go back. Go to the office. When Lu Ligan saw Huang Jianren preparing to go out, he quickly shouted, "Hey, what the hell are you doing?" Huang Jianren turned around and asked, "The entertainment time is not over yet. Come back, I really have something to do with you." Huang Jianren came back. "Sit down." Huang Jianren sat down and looked at Lu Ligan, meaning, if you fart, hurry up. "I really want to use 20 million, but I was joking with you earlier. In fact, it is a friend. I need to use it to register a company, so I can lend it to him." "Okay, what about the guarantee measures?" "What did you say?" "Guarantee measures. If you spend such a large sum of money, the risk must be controllable." "I mean, what guarantee measures are there?" If I sign, of course I will be responsible." "What guarantee measures do you need?" Huang Jianren shook his head and said, "These are two different things. Your signature only agrees that the money can be transferred out, but if the risks are to be controlled, the guarantee measures must be implemented first." "Then I guarantee it." "Okay." Lu Ligan became impatient. "No, this is not in line with the financial system," Huang Jianren insisted. "What the hell are you thinking? I'm a shareholder of this company. Are my shares worth 20 million? It's not enough for me to guarantee it." "What the hell are you thinking?" Lu Ligan was a little annoyed. "No, Mr. Lu, don't embarrass me. You think, the 20 million is for your own personal use. Shareholders are not allowed to borrow money from the company, but according to the system, this must be passed by the shareholders' meeting." "What do you mean? Are you saying that I, a shareholder and a legal person, am worthless and can't even make the decision?" "Mr. Lu, don't get me wrong. I am in charge of finance. This is what the financial system requires. I can't do anything about it. Otherwise, although you sign the money, if there is a risk, I will bear the greatest responsibility. I won't be able to eat anymore and will be walking around. I think you're just humming stupid. What if? Huang Jianren knew what Lu Ligan wanted to say, so he quickly waved his hand and shouted. Mr. Lu, please don't compare me with Sister Zheng. We are incomparable. Sister Zheng, let alone our President Zhu, even the branch's President Li is afraid of her. Moreover, I believe that if Sister Zheng is here, she will definitely be able to compare with her. I say the same thing. Lu Ligan recalled that when she was talking to Zhang Shaoan about the Hongyu building, Zheng Wei did pay special attention to the issue of risk control, but she did not stop her and told this idiot that this would not work or that would not work. Instead, she thought about how to resolve. Lu Ligan looked at Huang Jianren and said angrily. You and Zheng Wei are really incomparable. She won't force me into useless things. She will help me find a solution. I can also think of a way for you, Huang Jianren shouted. I have actually thought of a way for you. Hearing what Huang Jianren said, Lu Ligan's tone softened and he said, if you fart, hurry up. You can ask Mr. Meng's company to guarantee the money, so that the risk can be controlled. Lu Ligan's eyes widened. He stared at Huang Jianren and asked word by word, very good, do you still want him to take out the land certificate for mortgage? Of course it would be better if we could do this, Huang Jianren said. However, with the strength of Meng Corporation, this is not necessarily needed. When I report to the industry, I will put in a good word for Meng and his company. What did you say? Lu Ligan looked at Huang Jianren and asked, you mean, I borrowed 20 million for half a month, and you want Meng Ping to guarantee me, and you still have to report to Beijing. With such a large amount, I will definitely have to report it. Lu Ligan stretched out two fingers, hooked Huang Jianren, and said to him, come on, come over a little, I want to ask you something. Huang Jianren moved his chair to the table, leaned over, put his hands on the table, and looked at Lu Ligan alertly, alerting him to attack him at any time. Let me ask you a question. Say it, Mr. Lu. Lu Ligan looked serious and asked, tell me, is it easier for me to go to Meng Ping to guarantee me, or is it easier to just ask him to lend me 20 million? Huang Jianren was stunned. Yes, it is better to borrow from Mr. Meng directly than to ask Mr. Meng to guarantee it. With the relationship between Lu Ligan and Meng Ping, it is impossible for Meng Ping to refuse to borrow, and Meng Ping and the others are not even 2,000 yuan now. The company that Wanda couldn't take out, they still have tens of millions left there, ready to pay the second land payment for Hadian Island. Huang Jianren suddenly laughed. He clapped his hands and said, yes, you can just borrow it from Mr. Meng directly. Haha, isn't the problem solved? Lu Ligan was so angry that he slammed the table and cursed, I can't afford to embarrass this person. My company has money, but I can't transfer it, and I have to go to others to borrow money. You damn it, how do you think I can say this? Please teach me. Huang Jianren's face turned pale. He had never seen Lu Lipol lose such a temper in such a long time. Lu Lipol pointed at the door and shouted at Huang Jianren, get the hum out of here. Huang Jianren didn't leave, he was still sitting there. He knew that if he really wanted to leave now, this would be a big deal. He took a peek and saw Lu Ligan sitting there with a livid face. Huang Jianren's face was pale, and he argued endlessly. Mr. Lu, don't be angry. It's not that I don't want to help. It's true. It's true. The financial system is there. I can't violate it. Mr. Lu, you usually hold meetings with our finance department. Haven't you always emphasized that we must strictly implement the financial system? Mr. Lu, look at this, look at this. Don't block me with my words. Lu Ligan glared at Huang Jianren. Lu Ligan spoke, and Huang Jianren secretly breathed a sigh of relief. He said, "Mr. Lu, I haven't finished speaking yet. You listen to me. You must listen to me." Lu Ligan glanced at him, which meant he was allowed to continue. Huang Jianren sighed and said, "Actually, even in the reporting industry, it's not that scary. Both Sun Ho and President Zhu trust you so much. You have earned so much money for the company. 20 million is a big deal, but it's not a big deal either. Big, if you really want to use it for half a month, they won't disagree. So, Mr. Lu, do you think this is good or not? You don't need to say it, I'll talk to Sun Ho." Huang Jianren saw that Lu Ligan's complexion had improved a little, so he continued, "Don't worry, I will definitely persuade Sun Ho. As long as Sun Ho agrees, this matter will completely comply with the regulations. Do you think this is good, Lu Total?" Lu Ligan thought about it, and now it seems that this is all he can do. He murmured in his heart. If it had been in the past, he thought Sun Ho would definitely agree. Even if he didn't agree, he would have to force him to agree. However, after what happened to Zheng Wei, Lu Ligan felt that he didn't with so much confidence. It's okay to let Huang Jianren talk about it first. If he doesn't agree, he can think of a solution himself. Lu Ligan said, "Okay. Then Mr. Lu, can you tell me the basic situation so that I can tell Sun Ho where the money is going?" "Hang Cheng. Who is the payee? What is the relationship with Mr. Lu?" "Zhang Chen." "Who?" "Zhang Chen, don't you humming recognize me?" You, uncle, why didn't you tell me earlier?" Huang Jianren scolded, "Just say call Mr. Zhang, otherwise everything will be fine." "Then who do you think you want to give it to? If you go out with 20 million, do you think I'm not worried about the risks? Besides him, who the hell is worth 20 million to me? It's your uncle, you should have said it earlier." "So what if I told you earlier?" "Then hit me, Grandma." Lu Ligan asked curiously, "Why, the financial system is no longer needed." "Whatever, sir. Don't you want to report to Sun Ho?" "If I report it, the monkey will agree. If I don't report it, I have the final say." Okay, bitch Huang, you are my boss, I listen to you." Lu Ligan laughed. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 595. As soon as Zhang Chen arrived at the stall early in the morning, Yang ran over and told Zhang Chen that he went back last night and told his family about Zhang Chen's suggestion. The family was very supportive. His grandfather was the most excited, knowing that Zhang Chen, "The treasures that I am going to see him today were all moved out yesterday, and I spent the whole night oiling and polishing them. The old man is so sleepy that he feels sleepy. The lamp opens holes again when it hits black, and it opens holes again when it hits black. The old man doesn't even sleep well. The lamp turns off and on again, off and on again." Yang and Zhang Chen explain. Zhang Chen couldn't help laughing after hearing this. He thought about how busy he was today. He had to go to the Sanbao village committee in the morning, just like Lu Ligan said, to tell them that he was going to add the registered capital to for 20 million, I still have to tell them that I have decided to buy that place. I'm going to a Yang's house at noon to see his grandfather's treasure. If I didn't go, the old man's excitement last night would have been in vain. In the afternoon, I will go to the Provincial Administration for Industry and Commerce to apply for pre-approval and registration of the company name. Fortunately, the Industrial and Commercial Bureau was also closed at noon, so he took advantage of this time to visit a Yang's house. Hung Mei walked in from outside. Zhang Chen asked her, "Are you busy today?" "You can be busy or not, what are you doing?" "If you're not busy, I'd like to recruit you for a day. I have a lot of places to run today and I'm afraid I won't be able to ride in time." Hung Mei thought for a moment and said, "After 10 o'clock, is that okay? I'm going to the old market now, where there are 4 packages to be distributed. Zhang Chen said yes, I can't leave before 10 o'clock. Xyli is the only one here, and I'm afraid I won't be able to make it. He Hongmei nodded and said it would be 10 o'clock. She walked to the table, picked up the phone on the table, and dialed the factory. The call was answered by Zhao Zhigang. He Hongmei and Zhao Zhigang said, "De Zhao, help me tell Laowan that I will not go to the factory today. He distributed the goods to me according to what I wrote to him yesterday, and sent them directly to me after distribution." Zhao Zhigang said yes. One is Zhao Zhigang and the other is Zhao Zhilong. The factory now calls them Big Zhao and Xiao Zhao to distinguish them. At a little after 10 o'clock, He Hongmei came back. Zhang Chen had also finished 2 waves of morning rush hour. He told Xyli that I would go out for a while. If there are too many people, you can ask Ayang to look after it for you. Xyli said okay, I understand. Zhang Chen walked over again and said to Ayang, I have something to do when I go out now, and I will call you when I come back. Ayang nodded. The 2 of them arrived at He Hongmei's community and got into the car. He Hongmei asked Zhang Chen, where were they going? Zhang Chen told her to go to my house first. They returned home. Zhang Chen entered the courtyard and saw that the landlord hadn't come back yet. After thinking about it, he didn't go upstairs either. Instead, he returned to the car and told He Hongmei to go to Sanbeo Street and their village committee. Zhang Chen walked into the village committee and saw that the office doors on both sides of the corridor of the village committee were closed. The secretary and director were not there. When he got upstairs, only one door was open. Zhang Chen walked over and saw Accountant Ge. Sitting there, Accountant Ge saw him and stood up quickly. Zhang Chen told Accountant Ge about his purpose of coming, and Accountant Ge burst into laughter upon hearing this. He kept saying, oh, wait, I'll call them. He first called the secretary's home phone number, but the secretary was not there, so he immediately detained him. Then he called the director's home phone number. The director's wife answered the phone and said that he drank too much yesterday and was still sleepy. Tell him to get up and answer the phone quickly, Accountant Ge said. Saxi, after a while, the director's voice came on the phone. Accountant Ge told him that Boss Zhang is waiting for you in the cave. I'll be right over, that's it, the director said and hung up the phone. Just as the director hung up, the phone rang again. Accountant Ge picked up the phone. The secretary said on the phone, how do I say this? Something big happened, the sky is falling, the fire is coming. The watch is empty, you Sashi. Don't be nagging, what did you say? Boss Zhang came to the cave, and the company he registered was not 5 million, but 20 million. Saxi? 20 million? Okay, I'll be right back. The secretary and director arrived one after another. They confirmed from Zhang Chen's mouth that the company Zhang Chen wanted to register was indeed worth 20 million. Both of them were very happy. The director shouted, okay, Boss Zhang, you are alone with all our tasks completed, we can have a comfortable sleep. The accountant asked anxiously, Boss Zhang, how have you considered that place? Zhang Chen said, I've thought about it. I think Accountant Ge is right. It's really not a problem to build a little east and a little west like now. I decided to buy the place, plan it carefully, and renovate the factory. Build it? Great. I read that right, Boss Zhang, you are a discerning person, Accountant Ge shouted, looking at the secretary and director at the same time. The secretary and director were also happy, and they were really happy. The boss not only wanted to register a company with a value of 20 million, but also helped them complete the task of attracting investment. He also decided to buy the place. This relieved the financial pressure on their village. From Zhang Chen's words, they also heard that this boss was planning to build a new factory there. Haha, in this way, when the superiors come to inspect again, they will have a decent place that they can take to show them. How can the two of them be unhappy? Moreover, after completing the task of attracting investment, there are rewards in the district, which are real money. Draft a sales and purchase agreement immediately and finalize this matter as soon as possible, the secretary and accountant GE said. Accountant GE agreed, and asked Zhang Chen, "How do you sign this agreement?" Zhang Chen thought for a while and said, "I am going to the Provincial Industrial and Commercial Bureau in the afternoon to apply for pre-approval and registration of the company name. Once the name is approved, I can engrave the company's official seal. The agreement must be signed with the company. Of course, I will sign it tomorrow morning. I'll sign it, and I'll hand over the money tomorrow morning, and I'll stamp it with the company's official seal later." The secretary and director both agreed. It seems that Boss Zhang is impatient and does things quickly. By the way, Boss Zhang is so cool. We don't want to hold them back. We'll go and clearly define the place in the afternoon. Next, let them clear all the dishes that need to be cleared. Leave that place clean to the owner, people said the secretary and director. The director said, "Yes, I will take people to drive piles and pull wires in the afternoon, and call all those people to the village for a meeting tomorrow." Zhang Chen left the village committee and told He Hongmei that he should go to my house again. He thought it was better to go and say hello to the landlord. He knew that in the countryside, big things would spread immediately. If he waited, it wouldn't be good if the story spread and the landlord knew about it. Zhang Chen returned home, and the landlord's brother had come back. Zhang Chen told him that he had come to see him before, but he didn't see anyone, so he went directly to the village committee. He had discussed that place with Xiao Zhao and was still planning to buy it. "Come down, otherwise it will be very troublesome to set up this factory and move it around in the middle." The landlord said, "That's fine, then you will stay in our village for a long time." Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Yes, we are almost half of Sanbeo villagers." Zhang Chen talked to the landlord about the registered capital again. The landlord smiled and said, "Those three ghosts were so happy." Zhang Chen said yes, they were very happy. The two people returned to the booth. Xiaoli and Zhang Chen said that Sister Xiao Zhao's ID card had been sent over, and they handed Xiao Zhao's ID card to Zhang Chen. This was needed to go to the Industrial and Commercial Bureau in the afternoon. Last night, after Zhang Chen and Xiao Zhao finished talking, they detained Xiao Wu again. Xiao Wu went to Zhang Chen's house early in the morning, took Xiao Zhao's ID card, ran to the door of the county committee, and waited for the morning bus to Hangzhou. When he arrived, he got in the car and saw an acquaintance in the car who asked him to deliver Xiao Zhao's ID card to the stall as soon as he arrived in Hangzhou. Zhang Chen congratulated Hongmei, ate fast food at the stall, and called a Yang to his home. He Hongmei heard Zhang Chen say what she was doing at a Yang's house on the way. She immediately became excited and said to a Yang, "Yes, we have many retail stores down there that also need these accessories. If you start making them, I can come to your place. Restock." A Yang was very happy to hear this. He knew that He Hongmei's family did a lot of business in Chongqing. This meant that he had already had his first wholesale customer before opening his leather goods store. Yang's family is in an old house in Pishi Lane. When you enter the door, there is a patio in the middle. On one side of the patio, there live two families, Yang's grandfather, Yang's family, and his widowed aunt. My aunt's house occupies the other side of the patio. Yang's grandfather specially wore a new dress today, with two sleeves on the two sleeves. He took them into his room and asked Yang to open all the wooden flower windows facing the patio. The light from inside poured in, making the originally dark room as bright as the outdoors. On an 8 Immortals table, there were two open suitcases. Zhang Chen and He Hongmei couldn't help but gasp when they looked at them. These things were so beautiful. They saw that from the two suitcases outside to the cowhide briefcases inside looked as if they had only been seen in movies. Those wealthy businessmen and high-ranking generals were carrying such things in their hands and under their arms. These things, after decades of precipitation and careful polishing by the elderly, emit a bright light. However, this light is different from the luster of new leather. It has a calm and deep feel, and is a bit dull. It is a light soaked by time. There were also women's sheepskin bags, men's and women's gloves, and boots in the box. What was strange to Jiang Chen was that he saw a leather hat. This leather hat had only been seen in movies. It seemed to be an Air Force pilot's hat. Yang's grandfather said, "Yes, this is the hat of the Air Force at Jianqiao Airport." At that time, the Air Force was the most impressive, with leather boots, leather hats, leather gloves, and leather jackets. When Grandpa said this, he glanced at Yang. Yang smiled. Jiang Chen and He Hongmei both looked at him, wondering why he was laughing. Yang told them that there used to be an Air Force leather jacket here. I stole it and sold it for 200 yuan a few years ago. Damn, it was a huge sum of money at that time. I only had $4 a month to work. $50. Jiang Chen and He Hongmei both laughed, and He Hongmei cursed, "What a prodigal son. If you look at it now, it will cost more than 200. Jiang Chen asked his grandfather, "Did you make all these equipment for the Jianqiao Air Force?" Grandpa said yes, not just the Air Force in Jianqiao. "Do you know Chen Yi?" Jiang Chen shook his head. Grandpa told him that Chen Guang was the provincial chairman of Zhejiang province, and was later beheaded by Bal Zhang. I also made all the suitcases and bags in their house. He Hongmei asked, "Grandpa, how can you do it alone?" "Not alone," Grandpa said, "the business at Jianqiao Airport is very busy. There are more than a dozen guys working under my Chen Guang." "Grandpa, are you a capitalist?" He Hongmei asked. "I'm just one step away from being beaten. I'm just one step away from being beaten by the capitalists, and they're going to be paraded through the streets," Grandpa said, laughing sheepishly. After leaving their home, Yang told them that his grandfather made a lot of money at that time, and what he did after making money: gambling, cheating, picking up girls, and even being killed by people, robbing pigs. Boss Pianmu's leather goods shop was ruined into a cobbler's stall. It just so happened that Hangzhou was liberated. Otherwise, as a capitalist, he would suffer a lot and be lucky. Jiang Chen and He Hongmei laughed. Jiang Chen said, "It seems you have a tradition." Yang knew that Jiang Chen was laughing at him. He not only inherited his grandfather's cobbler skills, but also inherited his grandfather's skill in copying. Yang was also happy. Later, Jiang Chen once saw an article introducing Chen Yi in the Jianzhong Evening News. He immediately remembered Yang's grandfather, and then he knew who Chen Yi was. Chen Yi is a native of Shaoxing, Zhejiang. He is a second-level army general of the Kuomintang. When he was in the artillery section of the 5th period of Jinwu School in Japan, he and Chiang Kai-shek joined the Liberation Association. When Taiwan was restored in 1945, Chen Yi served as the chief executive and chief of the garrison of Taiwan province. Commander, the 228 incident broke out in Taiwan in 1947, and Chen Yi was forced to resign. In 1948, he became the chairman of the Zhejiang provincial government. What Grandpa Yang said should be during this period. On the eve of the liberation of Hangzhou in 1949, Chen Yi wanted to instigate an uprising by his old subordinate Tang Enbo, but Tang Enbo reported him. Chen Yi was secured by Chiang Kai-shek. In the 1950s, in May of that year, he was sentenced to death by the Taiwan military court for the espionage case. On June 18, he was shot at the Makang Town execution ground in Taipei City. Jiang Chen didn't know whether Chen Yi was carrying the suitcase made by Grandpa Yang or the briefcase made by him when Chen Yi was grabbed. Thank you Qian Dad and Tianying 1978 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 596. It was almost 2 o'clock when we left Yang house. Mei said to send Yang back to the market first. Yang said no, let Zhang Chen and the others go about their business. He took the bus to the market by himself. There was no business anyway, let's get over it slowly. Zhang Chen and the others arrived at the Provincial Administration for Industry and Commerce. After their speech on the southern tour, there were suddenly more people running companies, including many government cadres who had gone to sea a few years ago and later returned to work in their units. At this time, they were also ready to take action. Jumped into the sea again. The Provincial Administration for Industry and Commerce renovated the original conference room on the second floor and turned it into a registration hall. They entered the registration hall and saw the words Registration 1 Company Name Pre-Approved posted on the number 1 window. Zhang Chen got in line. After receiving the form from the window, Zhang Chen looked around and saw that there was no table in the hall where he could sit and fill it out, so he walked to the window and placed the form on the windowsill to fill it out. After looking at the form, Zhang Chen was confused. This was completely different from the form he filled out at the Industrial and Commercial Office. The Industrial and Commercial Office had not even pre-approved the name of the company. Although Lu Ligan had already explained to himself the general process of applying for a license last night, Zhang Chen was in Haikan. For a while, he always listened to Lu Ligan and Wen Wenqian talking about applying for a license. I thought I knew how to do it, but when I got the form, I still didn't know how to fill it out. Zhang Chen dialed Lu Ligan's phone number and told him, I am at the Industrial and Commercial Bureau now. How do I fill out the application form for pre-approval of company name? Why is there an application for company name and alternative company name on it? Haha, just call Director Lu. Lu Ligan smiled and said, come on, I will break it down with you slowly. Lu Ligan told Zhang Chen a few key points about choosing a name. Zhang Chen understood immediately, skipped this first, and quickly filled it out. The address was no problem, it was at Sanbeo, and the registered capital was no problem, 20 million. There is no problem with the type of business, production, wholesale, and retail. When it came to writing about the scope of business, Lu Ligan said to him, you should try to write as much as possible. There is actually no limit to this. Businesses are not allowed by law. You can't run it even if you want to. Write down everything else you can think of, such as steel, coal, household appliances, stationery, daily necessities, etc. There is no harm in writing more. If you write less in case you need to use it, it will be said that you are operating beyond the scope. Okay, I understand. Where are the investors? Should I write only Xiao Zhao or me and Xiao Zhao? Zhang Chen asked. Investors are shareholders of the company. One shareholder is a sole proprietorship, and shareholders bear unlimited liability for the company. Two shareholders are a limited liability company. Of course, there must be two. Lu Ligan thought a little strange and asked, what do you want to do? I want this company to belong to Xiao Zhao, and Xiao Zhao will be the legal person. Damn it, do you think this is your little shop and you want Xiao Zhao to be the legal person? Do you want to harm her? How could this happen? The legal person of the company is different from your small shop. The legal person needs to take full responsibility. To put it bluntly, if there is a liability accident in your company, all the legal persons will go to jail. Is it so scary? Zhang Chen was startled. What are you afraid of? What I'm talking about is an extreme example. You will basically never encounter it, otherwise I will be a fart legal person. Lu Ligan scolded. However, many things usually require the legal person to come forward. The simplest ones, such as for example, industrial and commercial inspections and tax inspections all involve legal persons. Do you want Xiao Zhao to face these messy things while you hide behind them? Am I that sinister? But. Zhang Chen didn't come out, but Lu Ligan had already understood. He knew that Zhang Chen was setting limits for himself. Didn't he say that men will become bad when they have money? This company is running and making money. If you want to change bad, then I'm sorry, the company still belongs to Xiao Zhao, and it's you who should get out naked. He is providing Xiao Zhao with a guarantee and a warning for himself. Do you want this company to be Xiao Zhao's company? Lu Ligan asked. Zhang Chen said yes. That doesn't matter. Shareholders are the owners of the company, and they are two different things from legal persons. You can do this. Xiao Zhao owns 90% of the shares and you own 10%, but you are still the legal person. In other words, you are destined to work. Haha, you can't drive Xiao Zhao away, but Xiao Zhao can tell you to get out of the company at any time. Zhang Chen, think about it clearly. Is this what you want? Okay, that's it. I won't leave the company. I just want to ensure that the company belongs to Xiao Zhao and that she can feel at ease at all times, Zhang Chen said. Okay, it's up to you, then you just write as I say. I am just a small shareholder. Is there really no problem with being a legal person? There is no problem. You are not a shareholder. There is no problem. Otherwise, in those state-owned companies, no one would be a legal person except the state. Zhang Chen thought about it, and it was right. The old leader of their Yongchengwu opera troupe had retired for many years, but the legal person of the troupe was still the old leader, so no one took it seriously. Okay, I got it, go away, Zhang Chen said with a smile. What the hell are you doing? Why are you talking to Bureau Lu? Before Lu Ligan finished speaking, Zhang Chen hung up the phone. Lu Ligan cursed an idiot into the phone and then left. He Hongmei had been standing on the side, listening to the conversation between Zhang Chen and Lu Ligan. Then she realized that Zhang Chen still had such thoughts. She couldn't help but feel a little moved in her heart. She felt that it was really worth it for Xiao Zhao to find this man. Alas, when will I be able to meet such a boyfriend? Hey, why are you just standing there? Why don't you help me think of a name? Zhang Chen shouted when he saw He Hongmei standing aside, not knowing what she was thinking. He Hongmei looked at the form. The bottom part was filled out, but the first and second columns were left unfilled. In the first column to apply for a company name, Zhang Chen filled in Zhejiang Xiaomei Clothing Co., Limited without even thinking about it. When it comes to the second column of alternative corporate names, it is divided into 1, 2, and 3. You can fill in 3 alternative names. Zhang Chen stopped writing and looked at He Hongmei. When he came, he didn't expect to fill in so many names. He was not prepared at all. There was no way, the two of them could only think about it now. They first thought of Zhejiang Binfen Clothing Co., Limited. Both of them thought it was good, so they filled in 1. Zhang Chen thought of Zhejiang Peach Blossom Clothing Co., Limited again. He Hongmei nodded. She said this was okay. Zhang Chen filled it into 2. The last one, according to Lu Ligan's teaching, the weirder the safer, the two of them thought of names one by one, but they both thought they were too common and unsafe, so they rejected them one by one. Finally, Zhang Chen thought of a Zhejiang Benmushan Clothing Co., Limited. This is good, no one would have thought of this, He Hongmei shouted. Zhang Chen wrote the name to number 3. After reading it, both of them hesitated and felt that the last name was the best, half an acre of field. It was a bit ignorant and weird, but also very individual, and got along well with them. Hemp-style clothing is very close in temperament. He Hongmei pointed to the top one, Zhejiang Xiaomei Clothing Co., Limited, and said to Zhang Chen, I think it's better than this one. This one is too common, half an acre of field. It would be a pity not to use it. I know you like Sister Xiao Zhao, so it doesn't have to be written in the company name. One sentence made Jiang Chen blush, and He Hongmei then teased. Besides, 90% of the shares in this company belong to Sister Xiao Zhao. Whether or not she is in the company's name, the company still belongs to her. He Hongmei laughed as she said that. Jiang Chen glared at her, but thinking about it, she was right. The name of the company is too important for a company. Looking at it now, Jiang Chen also feels that Zhejiang Banmuishan Clothing Co., Limited is better than Zhejiang Xiaomei Clothing Co., Limited. Either I call Sister Xiao Zhao and I'll ask her. As He Hongmei said that, she took out her mobile phone and was about to make a call. Jiang Chen quickly stopped her and told her, don't fight, just use this half-acre of land. But this form has already been filled out, and there is no way to change it. Go get another one and fill it out again. You can go or not. I will go if you don't, He Hongmei encouraged her from the side. To receive the form, you must first submit an application for starting a company. Jiang Chen thought to himself, there are so many people queuing, and even if I queue again, the staff inside will definitely not know. Jiang Chen took out the paper from his backpack and rewrote an application for starting a company. Jiang Chen queued up again in front of window number 1. When it was his turn, he handed in his ID and application form. Unexpectedly, the staff inside took one look at it, tapped the table with his fingers, turned around, stared at Jiang Chen and asked, "What's going on? Didn't you come here just now?" Jiang Chen was stunned for a moment, not knowing how to answer. He Hongmei quickly stepped in to save the situation and shouted, "Comrade, I'm so sorry. The one in front of us was damaged. The pen leaked. Look." She raised the form as she spoke, and Jiang Chen saw that at some point, she had put a large piece of ink on the form. The staff inside frowned, returned the application form to Jiang Chen, handed him a blank form, and said to him, "Be careful this time." Jiang Chen quickly said thank you, and backed out. He Hongmei giggled and said to Jiang Chen, "How about it, master, isn't my move powerful?" "Not bad, quite witty." Jiang Chen smiled and praised, thinking in his heart, why are all the women around him brave and resourceful, but most of the time, he is more like a fool. When I walked back to the window where I was filling out the form, I didn't expect that the seat was already occupied by someone who was also filling out the form. Jiang Chen stepped aside, crouched down against the wall, and told He Hongmei, "Please help me block some people so they don't run into me. If I write badly this time, I will be scolded if I try to make up for it again." Jiang Chen put his backpack on his knees, put the form on the bag and filled it out. He Hongmei stood on the side, really like a patron saint, watching the people coming and going with vigilance. When she saw someone coming towards Jiang Chen come over, quickly step in and block him. Jiang Chen filled in Zhejiang Banmuishan Clothing Co., Limited as the company name to be applied for, and moved the other 3 names to the candidate company names. Subconsciously, he still filled in Zhejiang Xiaomei Clothing Co., Limited. Choose the first digit of the company name, so that if Zhejiang Banmuishan Clothing Co., Limited does not pass, it will still be the one. After handing the form into the window, Jiang Chen asked the staff, "When can I get the notification? I'm in a hurry." "You are in a hurry and we are in a hurry. According to the regulations, it is 3 working days. However, we are working overtime every day. So, if you are in a hurry, you can come over tomorrow afternoon and have a look. Maybe it will be fine," the staff and he said. He Hongmei saw inside that there was a phone on the desk across the aisle from the staff member, and asked, "Comrade, can we call and ask?" The staff member glanced at her and asked, "Look at us, who has time to stand up and answer the phone?" He Hongmei stuck out her tongue. The 2 of them arrived at the parking lot below and got into the car. Jiang Chen and He Hongmei said they would have dinner together in the evening. "Why, are you comforting me by working as your coachman for a day?" He Hongmei asked. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "No, I was ordered to treat you, Xiaoan, Xiao Li and Sister Tianlin to dinner." "Whose order are you taking, Sister Xiao Zhao's?" "Stingy, if Sister Xiao Zhao doesn't give the order, you won't treat me." "Okay, please. Even if she doesn't give the order, I'll do the same." "Then it's settled. You're following orders today. Today doesn't count. You still owe me a meal," He Hongmei said with a smile. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 597. When Zhang Chen woke up the next day, it was already past 7 o'clock. This morning, he was going to the village committee to sign the transfer agreement for the warehouse. So he had agreed with He Hongmei yesterday that He Hongmei would go to the stall to help in the morning, so Zhang Chen didn't need a big day. "I rushed to the stall early and rushed back. It was still early to go to the village committee." Zhang Chen kept his eyes open and lay on the bed for a while. He really couldn't lie down, so he decided to get up and go to the factory to have a look. The workers had finished working overtime in the early morning and had just slept for a few hours. They won't get up until noon, but Lao Wan and the others must have gotten up by now and are packing and shipping. After Zhang Chen washed up, he picked up a vest bag from the pillow. Inside was a large bag of money. Zhang Chen asked He Hongmei to take him to the bank to take it out yesterday. He thought it would be too troublesome to move around, so he might as well bring $15 with him today. "When I went to bed last night, I was worried that a thief would come in, so I put it next to my pillow." Zhang Chen wanted to stuff the bag of money into his backpack. After stuffing it in, the backpack was bulging and uncomfortable to carry on his body, so he simply carried it in his hands. Zhang Chen picked up the bag of money and looked at it. The vest bag was too thin and the money inside could be clearly seen from the outside. Zhang Chen looked for it and found a green vest bag to put on the outside. He felt better now, although it was faintly visible. There is a hint of you still having money, but if you don't look carefully, you can't tell it. He carried the money downstairs and clamped it on the bicycle bag holder. Feeling uneasy, he simply put the bag's handle on the bicycle handle so that he could look at it while riding. Zhang Chen was happy when he rode to the intersection where he turned into the factory. He saw that the director had brought people here yesterday. They had driven wooden stakes in the ground, between the wooden stakes and the wooden stakes. Tied the rope, Zhang Chen looked at it clearly and knew that the land within the wooden pile and rope belonged to him. He saw that starting from that road, it expanded by 2/3. When he arrived at the drying area, he looked around and saw that there was an extra circle, almost doubling the area. These 10.2 acres was much larger than he had imagined. Even the 2,000-pound tanks used as septic tanks in the land owned by the landlord's eldest brother and uncle turned out to be within the wooden piles. The numbers of finished products recorded at the front and back were inconsistent with the reality. Zhao Zhigang was called out by Lao Wan very early. He squatted at the door of the kitchen to eat instant noodles. When he saw Zhang Chen, he asked, what was the purpose of driving these wooden stakes in their village? Here about to be requisitioned? Zhang Chen suppressed his laughter and said to him, yes, it has been requisitioned, including ours, this whole area has been requisitioned. Ah, Zhao Zhigang was surprised and shouted, then what should we do? Us, Zhang Chen pointed to the old warehouse and said to Zhao Zhigang, tear this place down and build a house. Zhao Zhigang looked at him blankly, not understanding what he was talking about. Zhang Chen smiled and said, we bought this place. From now on, this place belongs to us. What? What are you talking about? Our factory bought this place. Are you saying that it's all within the wooden piles? It's so big. Yeah, how's it going? Great, Zhao Zhigang shouted. Zhang Chen was also infected by Zhao Zhigang's excitement. Looking at this large piece of land, he felt as if he suddenly returned to Heiken, back to where he was standing at the door of Mr. Xie's factory, looking at the land they rented. There was an uncontrollable impulse in his heart, and it was this impulse that gave him the idea of Chinatown. At this moment, Jiang Chen felt that the impulse seemed to have returned. This was his world, more real than that piece of land, and it truly belonged to him. He carried the money into the office, stuffed it into the drawer of his desk, took out the sketchbook and tape measure from the table, closed the door of the office, and said to Zhao Zhigang, "Come on, help me draw the ruler, let's clean up this place, take some measurements, I need to replan." Zhao Zhigang put the bowl on the ground next to him and ran over. He took one end of the measuring tape and measured it between the surrounding vegetable fields and the factory area. Jiang Chen recorded the dimensions of each measurement in his sketchbook. "Note it down." Back in the office, Jiang Chen first drew a sketch of the entire land in his sketchbook. He felt that it was not satisfying. He wanted to draw a larger and more precise one. The desk was too small, so he wanted to go to the workbench in the exhibition room. Painting. He took out the bag of money from the bucket on his desk. Zhao Zhigang saw it and asked curiously, "What do you do with so much money?" Jiang Chen told him that he would go to the village committee later to pay for the purchase of this place. You want so much?" Jiang Chen smiled and said, "Then you haven't seen how big this place is." After finishing the previous measurements, Jiang Chen already agreed with Lu Ligan's opinion. He now also felt that such a large piece of land costing 150,000 yuan was not expensive. Although 150,000 was a lot of money at the time, for Jiang Chen and the others, it was only earned in 1 week. Isn't it worthwhile to earn such a large piece of land in 1 week? Even if the land is useless and is only used to grow grass, it is still his own grass. He can roll on it and run around as he pleases. Jiang Chen feels that it is worth it. "Boss, please remind me, I have never seen so much money in my life," Zhao Zhigang shouted. Jiang Chen smiled and handed the bag of money to Zhao Zhigang. The two of them arrived at the exhibition room. Jiang Chen took out a whole piece of lead drawing paper and spread it on the workbench. He first used a ruler to draw the entire floor plan of the factory in proportion, then turned around and discussed the next steps with Zhao Zhigang. Plan. Zhao Zhigang sat next to him and kept watching him draw. While sitting, he still held the bag of money in his hand. Jiang Chen patted the table and said with a smile, "Are you stupid? Why are you still carrying it? Put it here." Zhao Zhigang shook his head and said, "This opportunity is rare, I want to mention it for a while to make money." Jiang Chen laughed, it was only him. As he was measuring and thinking, Jiang Chen already had a prototype in his mind. He told Zhao Zhigang that this warehouse originally faced east and west. It could be used as a warehouse and had enough light, but if it were used as a factory for us, it would actually not be suitable. I think the factory building should be oriented north-south so that it won't be so hot in summer. Zhao Zhigang nodded, he said yes, that's good. Jiang Chen and Zhao Zhigang talked about it. He said that he planned to arrange the entire factory area in a Z shape. The openings were the gate and the courtyard wall. Facing each other were two buildings, one with 4 floors, and the first floor was for tailors. There are rooms and warehouses, the second floor is the back passage, and the third and fourth floors are the sewing workshops. The third and fourth floors are workshops. How many sewing machines can be placed there? Zhao Zhigang asked. Almost 1,000 units. Why, are you confident? If you have it, I will. Good. The first floor is the cutting room, and the third and fourth floors are the workshops. How do you send the cutting pieces up, and how do you send the clothes down when they are ready? It's impossible to take the stairs, but how about installing an elevator? Zhao Zhigang asked. Jiang Chen shook his head and said, the elevator is too expensive. Just install a vertical take-off and landing winch. It is very cheap. Anyway, it only loads cargo and cannot seat people. If one is not enough, just install 2. This will definitely be enough, and just in case one of them breaks down or something. Zhao Zhigang nodded. The building opposite is a 5-story building. The first floor is for offices and canteens, and the upper 4 floors are staff dormitories. Here at the back, between the two buildings, is a 2-story house running horizontally. Connecting them, this building the house is our showroom, and we need a very large showroom. How many square meters does this have? According to you, it should be at least 10,000 square meters. With so many houses built, how long will it take to build them? Will the factory still have to work? Zhao Zhigang asked. This is a plan, idiot. Do you understand the plan? The plan is the future, and it will become like this in the end. Zhang Chen glanced at Zhao Zhigang and cursed, to build so many houses now, firstly we don't have so much money, secondly there's no need to build it, and it won't be used, so why build it to raise mosquitoes? Okay, I understand, this is your long-term goal, please continue. This place is our own now. We can no longer build one in the east and one in the west as we do now. We need to plan it first and then build it bit by bit according to the plan. For these 2 buildings, we will lay 4 floors of foundations. It's like a 5-story building, but when we need it, we'll add more floors one by one, so we won't build it all at once. Well, that's good, I understand. Zhang Chen pointed to the floor plan and said to Zhao Zhigang. Did you see that the building in the workshop is built against the outside lines? The current simple house can be moved a few meters to the middle of the yard to free up the entire building. In this way, only the one at the top is the corner is occupied by the current workshop, so we will ignore this corner and build it first on the side where you come in from the gate. Only 1 floor will be built first. After it is built, the area will be larger than it is now. I understand, let's just move this place over, then tear it down and fill in this corner. Yes, there is no need to demolish the whole building. The factory building now has mud walls anyway. Just demolish 1 room. The other 3 have already been vacated. Let's move the kitchen and canteen over here. This way, here the demolition of this simple house can begin. The foundation of the building opposite has been laid, and construction will start from the other end of the gate, and only 1 floor will be built. I understand. Once the outside is built, we can move the exhibition room and canteen over here and completely demolish this building. Yes, smart. Zhao Zhigang chuckled, why do I feel like we are playing hide and seek? No, we are moving around in a limited space without interrupting our production. Zhang Chen laughed and thought to himself, isn't this what they do even for projects as big as Wanghai Tower? During the entire renovation and expansion period, neither Wanghai International Hotel, Wanghai Mall, nor Wanghai Restaurant were closed for a day, let alone ours. For a much smaller project, as long as it's planned well, there won't be any problems at all. Okay, you are more advanced than me, but when will this goal be fully realized? Zhao Zhigang asked, pointing his finger at the floor plan Zhang Chen had just drawn. This depends on our development and funding situation. The faster we develop, the greater the possibility of achieving this goal, Zhang Chen said. Now, we actually have no problem expanding to 100 sewing machines, Zhao Zhigang said. You see, the workers work overtime every day and work so late every day. They haven't had a break for more than a month. The goods are still tight. If there are hundreds of flat sewing machines, there will be no rush for goods. Zhang Chen nodded and said, okay, then we will try to build this building here as soon as possible and expand the factory first. I think it can be expanded now, Zhao Zhigang said. Expanding now? Where is there room here? Zhang Chen asked. We can move the cutting room to an outside shed and build a workshop out of the current cutting room. Zhang Chen's eyes lit up. He thought this was a solution, but the weather is getting colder and colder. Will it be too cold if we move the cutting bed outside? Use colored steel tiles around it to block it so the wind can't blow it. Okay, let's build some dormitories next to the cafeteria. After Zhang Chen finished speaking, he also laughed. He just said he wouldn't build things randomly, so why did he build them again? But there is nothing we can do. Factories, of course, focus on production. Only by expanding production capacity can we bring more benefits, and everything else should be put aside. Where did Lao Wan go? Zhang Chen asked. The delivery hasn't come back yet. When he comes back, you can tell him our general idea and ask him to come over to his fellow villagers. I will talk to them about how to do it specifically when I come back from the village committee. Zhao Zhigang said yes. Thank you Brokeback Mountain for the tip. Thank you Lao Chentang and Qian Dad for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all a happy life. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 598. Zhang Chen thought of another question and asked Zhao Zhigang, by the way, do the workers have any objections to working overtime like this every day? Do you have any opinions? Everyone is here to make money, not to play. If you want to play, just play at home. I get so much salary every month, no deposit is withheld, and I don't owe a day in arrears. I'm so happy. Everyone said that when I go home during the Spring Festival this year, my family will be extremely happy when they see so much money coming back. Zhang Chen nodded and said, that's good. At that time, for those who came out to work, their only purpose was to make money, and they were not afraid of hard work. Compared with being poor, being tired was nothing. When you came to a strange city, it was not easy to find a job. Finding a job was not easy. Good jobs are even harder. At that time, in most garment processing factories, workers could not get their full salary every month, but could only get 1/3 to half of their living expenses. Others said it would be settled at the end of the year, and at the end of the year, another deduction would be made. The monthly salary is said to be paid when you come next year, which is quite good. What's more, many processing factories have no money at the end of the year, so they can only pay for travel expenses, and continue to owe the rest. When the workers come back next year, even the bosses don't know where they have fled. Like Zhang Chen and others, factories that don't deduct a penny and have high wages are good or bad. Everyone works outside, and it's not just this one. They will compare in their hearts. Don't talk about others, although they are the same. They all provide food and accommodation, but if you look at what they eat in their cafeteria and look at other processing plants, it's really pig food. Zhang Chen felt that the workers had a hard time every day. His requirement for the canteen was that every meal must have meat dishes, either big steaks, braised fish with braised pork, or braised chicken legs. In other factories, you can only eat these in a month. 2 or 3 times. The cafeteria of their factory is full of oil and water, and the chef's skills are also good. Even He Hungmei always wants to come to their cafeteria to have a meal. There are many relatives and fellow workers in the factory who want to come over. Once our new workshop was opened, it was full in one day. Zhao Zhigang and Zhang Chen said. Zhang Chen said yes, we will do it right away. Zhang Chen finished drawing the entire plane, and Zhao Zhigang asked, can you give me this? Zhang Chen asked curiously, why do you want this? Post it in the office so that when the workers see it, they will feel that there is a future in our factory. Zhang Chen smiled and said, that's right. You already know how inspiring it is. However, I won't give you this one. In the afternoon, I will draw a rendering of all those houses and give it to you. Very good. Zhang Chen looked at the time and saw that it was already 8:30. It was almost time to go to the village committee. When he saw that Zhao Zhigang was still carrying the bag of money, he asked, I'm leaving. Can you give it back to me now? Zhao Zhigang's face turned red and he said, I have nothing to do now. Can I go with you? Didn't I tell you to wait for Lao Wan to come back and ask him to call someone? Zhang Chen said. Well, can't we just ask the kitchen chef to call you when he sees Lao Wan coming back? Zhang Chen was right. He said yes, then you go with me. The two people arrived at the village committee. Zhang Chen looked at the corridors on both sides. The secretary's office was at the end of the corridor on the left, and the door was open. The director's office was at the end of the corridor on the right, and the door was also open. Zhang Chen was hesitating. He should go to the secretary's office. It was still the director's office. Accountant Ge came down from upstairs. When he saw Zhang Chen, he said, "Here. Take a walk and go to the secretary. The director is having a meeting." The three of them walked into the secretary's office. When the secretary saw Zhao Zhigang, he said curiously, "Hey, Zhongshan guy, why are you here?" Zhao Zhigang's original tailor shop was on Sanbao Street. Everyone in the village committee knew him when he walked around, which was not surprising. Zhang Chen quickly said, "He is now the director of our factory." Zhao Zhigang's face turned red, and the secretary smiled and said, Huo, country fellow, you finally went to that place. It's very good." Hearing what the secretary said, Zhang Chen remembered that Zhao Zhigang had first visited that place and wanted to open a processing factory there, and had already contacted the village. In the end, he failed because his master did not lend him the money. Accountant Ge took out the transfer agreement and showed it to Zhang Chen. After reading it, Zhang Chen thought it was okay and signed it. The secretary called the director. Hearing the noise on the phone, he frowned and said to the director, "Don't worry about them, come here first." This agreement required the director to sign on behalf of the village committee. The director came in and saw that Zhang Chen had already signed, so he also signed. After accountant Ge took out the village committee seal and stamped it, he handed over a copy of the agreement. "Zhang Chen, tell him, we have all the procedures in place. If you get the official seal, just come and fill it up for me. Your own share doesn't matter." Zhang Chen said yes. "After all the seals are stamped, I will go to the District Land Management Bureau to help you re-verify your rights. We have already said hello. You are a company that is attracting investment, so there will be no problem," accountant Ge said. Zhang Chen nodded. He took the bag of money from Zhao Zhigang, put it on the table, and said to accountant Ge, "I have brought the money over for you." The Secretary General and accountant Ge were stunned for a moment, then laughed. The director said, "Boss, I didn't expect you to get money so readily." Accountant Ge, "Then you can accept it and write a receipt to Boss Zhang." Accountant Ge said yes. He counted the 15 knives in the vest bag. 100,000 was in a bundle. The other 5 knives had the bank seal intact, although according to regulations he should open and count each knives. But when people are so polite, he feels embarrassed to be stingy. He doesn't count the money, and he also knows in his heart that this boss is on the road and there will be no mistakes. He picked up the bag of money and walked to the door, then came back and said to the secretary, "I'd better leave it here with you. I'll come back later to take it and deposit it." Take it, why are you leaving it here? I won't help you look after the money," the secretary shouted. Accountant Ge shook his head and could only take the bag of money away, muttering, "I won't let it go, and don't grab it quickly when you have the ability to use it." Everyone in the room laughed. "How are you doing there?" the secretary asked the director. Everyone is annoyed. They all say that time is too urgent and cannot be cleared. They also say that the vegetables are not easy to sell and the prices are low. In fact, they just want some compensation. If you don't have a single copper coin, talk to them about it. Don't let it go to waste. It's been in vain for so long. It's good that the village didn't ask them to collect money. Just clear it up if you are willing to do it. If you don't know, let the joint defense team help. They are clear," the secretary scolded. Zhang Chen heard that they were talking about the vegetables in the surrounding vegetable fields. The meeting in the director's office was probably those vegetable farmers. Zhang Chen thought for a moment and said, "Secretary, Director, are you talking about the vegetables in the wooden pile?" The two people nodded, and the secretary said, "This is how it is in the countryside. When big interests are involved, one by one becomes a villain. Don't worry, Boss Zhang. I will come to deal with this matter personally. I will definitely deal with them within 3 days, clear them all out." Zhang Chen quickly said, "Thank you, Secretary, but I have an idea. I wonder if I can tell it." "You say it, you say it. I've seen it before. Those vegetables are almost ready to be harvested. The latest ones will be harvested in just over a week and 10 days. I think, either way, they didn't say that the vegetables are ready now. Is it difficult to sell? Just let them sell it to our factory. We have so many workers and we have to eat every day." "Yes, that's a way," the director said. "Boss Zhang is still reasonable. However, they don't want to deliver it in one day." "How much do they deliver every day?" "First go to our factory and ask Director Zhao." "Okay, there are 5 people there, 2 per day. We'll give them to each other in turns. If you don't have enough, others will give it to you," the director said. "Okay, let's do it." Zhang Chen looked at Zhao Zhigang, who nodded. Zhang Chen calculated the vegetables in the wooden piles. 80 or 90 people in his factory would eat them every day. It would take about 10 days and a half to finish them. He told the secretary and director, "Let's do this. As long as the vegetables in the wooden piles are delivered to our factory, we will charge double the price compared to the farmer's market." The secretary and director were stunned for a moment, and the secretary asked in confusion, "Boss Zhang, why are you doing this?" Zhang Chen said with a smile, "From now on, everyone will be neighbors. It's not easy for them to grow vegetables, so we can help each other." The secretary and director both nodded. The secretary and director said, "Did you see that Boss Zhang is so generous? Go and tell them that they should stop pushing their limits. In a word, they have nothing to say, and they can't even let out a fart," the director said and walked out. Accountant Ge came in and gave Zhang Chen the receipt. He held up the bag of money and said to the secretary, "Did I go to the credit union to deposit it?" The secretary nodded. Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang were also about to leave. The secretary asked him, "Boss Zhang, how is your company?" "I went to the Provincial Administration for Industry and Commerce yesterday afternoon, and the name has been submitted for pre-approval. I agreed to go over this afternoon to see if the results have come out." The secretary nodded and said with a smile, "Boss Zhang is still very fast." After walking out of the village committee, Zhang Chen immediately called Xiao Zhao and Lu Ligan and told them that the sales agreement had been signed. Lu Ligan shouted, "That's right. You are finally on the right path again, one step forward." "Get the hell out of here," Zhang Chen scolded. In the afternoon, He Hongmei sent Zhang Chen to the Provincial Industry and Commerce Bureau. They got the company name pre-approval notice. The approved name was Zhejiang Banmuishan Clothing Co., Limited. He Hongmei shouted, "Half an acre of land, awesome." Zhang Chen still felt a little regretful. What to do next? The staff gave Zhang Chen a piece of paper, and Zhang Chen saw on it the address and contact number of the Moganshan Road branch of the Industrial, Agricultural, Commercial Bank of China, and China Construction Bank. The staff told Zhang Chen, "Take this notice and go to any bank here. They will open a capital verification account for you. Once the account is opened and you deposit the money, they will freeze the money and give you a capital verification account number. For proof of financial status, you take this certificate and other information to Window 3 and submit the information to them for review. If there is any shortage, you will be asked to make up. If there is no shortage, you will wait to get the license." Zhang Chen quickly said yes. Next to the Provincial Administration for Industry and Commerce is the Moganshan Road branch of China Construction Bank. Zhang Chen took the pre-approval notice of the company name and opened a capital verification account for himself and Xiao Zhao. The teller inside told him that when the money arrives, you can come and get it. Just prove it. After sitting in the car, Zhang Chen called Lu Ligan and told Lu Ligan the capital verification account information of himself and Xiao Zhao. Lu Ligan said, "Okay, I will ask Huang Jianren to do it right away. You should be able to collect it after 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at the earliest. Arrive." The two men then went to engrave the official seal. The place where the official seal was engraved said that they could get it tomorrow afternoon. "Can't we rush it?" He Hongmei asked. "The horn badge or the plastic one?" "Of course it's from the horns. 100 chapters for the horns expedited payment." "Okay, then add 100, He Hongmei said. Without waiting for Zhang Chen's agreement, she made her own decision. It seemed that she was more anxious than Zhang Chen. "Hurry, start carving quickly, we will wait here." He Hongmei urged the young man who was engraving the seal. The young man looked at her and said coyly, "We have to wait a moment." "What are you waiting for?" "I'm not agreeing to hurry up." The young man blushed and murmured, "When my master comes back, I can carve it, but I can't write it." "Tch, how long will it take to wait?" About 40 or 50 minutes. "You take out the chapter, I'll write it, and you engrave it." Zhang Chen stood aside and said suddenly. Not only the young man, but also He Hongmei was shocked. He Hongmei looked at Zhang Chen with wide eyes. Zhang Chen smiled and said, "Isn't it just a matter of writing a few words? I can do that." "But, these are the words on the official seal." He Hongmei said. "That's not the same. The words are written everywhere." Zhang Chen laughed. Seeing that the young man was still doubting the letter, he said, "Take it out, I will write it for you for free, and I will give you 1 penny. Quite a few." At this time, Zhang Chen thought, wouldn't it make more sense to write his own company's official seal? To be on the safe side, the young man did not take the official seal. Instead, he first took a square seal blank and handed it to Zhang Chen. Then he brought the brush and ink over. Zhang Chen first sketched the frame, and then in the frame, the 4 words Zhang Chen seal were written in official script, and they were written with one wave. The young man praised, "Good boy, you move faster than my master." Zhang Chen smiled and asked the young man, "How is it, do you pass?" "Qualified," the young man said, and gave the seal blanks of the financial seal and official seal to Zhang Chen, who quickly wrote it. Even He Hongmei sighed, "Master, I didn't expect you to have such a powerful hand." Zhang Chen smiled and thought, if we didn't have this hand, we wouldn't even be able to get to Hainan Island. Thank you to Li Rujin and Tianying 1978 for your monthly votes. Thank you to RIRI Shushu, Dal Tin Soldier, On the Shore 131, and third from top to bottom for your continued rewards. Thank you to all the recommendation votes and readings. I wish you all a happy life. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 599. Everything went smoothly. Lu Ligan's 20 million arrived the next morning. Zhang Chen got the fund certificate for the capital verification account. In accordance with the requirements of the Industrial and Commercial Bureau, he prepared all the documents and placed them where Xiao Zhao's signature was required. Zhang Chen imitated Xiao Zhao's handwriting and signed, which was too childish for Zhang Chen. All the information was submitted to the number 3 window, and the result was passed in one go, and he was given a form to complete the submission of information. The next thing Zhang Chen had to do was to wait for 7 working days and use this form to obtain the business license. Zhang Chen has been busy with the business license every day these days. He got up in the morning and went to the stall. By 9 or 10 o'clock, he was either running to the bank or the Industrial and Commercial Bureau. He didn't even have time to go to the factory during the day. Zhang Chen was still in the stall and took the time to help Yang design a fur hall decoration plan and a fur hall trademark. The two went to the Municipal Industry and Commerce Bureau again. Zhang Chen applied to register the trademark half an acre field, and Yang applied to register the trademark for Kaitang. He Hongmei was also very enthusiastic and helped with ideas. She told Yang that your first batch of products should be mainly casual style, and don't make bags that are too serious. Bags that are too serious, you and regular luggage factories compared to handmade leather goods, which are not competitive, they must have their own personality and be unique in order to attract people. Zhang Chen agreed with He Hongmei's suggestion and casually helped Yang design several styles. Every day when the stall was closed, Zhang Chen and He Hongmei simply followed Yang to his home. His grandfather and father took out their belongings and set up a scene, preparing to help him make leather goods. Zhang Chen suggested that Yang's grandfather and father make antique leather goods according to the style that his grandfather was good at. Those leather suitcases, leather hats, and briefcases are something that people today have never even seen, so how could they possibly do it? Yes, old things, as long as others don't have them, are new, trendy and fashionable, just like Chong Sam, it will become a new fashion in a few decades. As for Yang himself, Zhang Chen suggested that he just make the casual style bag that He Hongmei mentioned. You wouldn't be able to do it anyway if the old thing asks you to do it. In this way, when two styles of leather goods appear in the same store, there will be a wonderful effect. Because the styles are different, it seems that the products in the store will be very rich. And the things made by his grandfather and father are made of different materials. The workmanship is very exquisite and the price can be set higher. Don't expect these things to make money, they are for store use. With these things, the difference between your store and other stores will come out. If you want to make money and increase sales, you still have to rely on the casual bags made by Yang. The price can be moderate. Is what the old men did a gimmick? Yang asked. Zhang Chen was right. Customers come into the store just for your grandfather's and his stuff, but what they buy in the end may be the stuff you made. I will also buy some leather goods made by my grandfather and put them in the store. They can be used as props to decorate the store. He Hongmei and Yang said that Zhang Chen had also thought of it, and actually needed a batch of such props in their showroom. Zhang Chen and He Hongmei, on a whim, placed an order for Yang on the spot. My grandfather and father were of course very happy to hear that their things had been sold before they were even finished. Zhang Chen and He Hongmei had never seen how leather goods were made before, so they were delighted to have such an opportunity, especially when they saw Yang's grandfather. His clothes had turned dark due to age. When the tools were spread out, the two of them became even more excited. They watched it with great interest every day and didn't go home until 90 o'clock. Yang's grandfather used thick cowhide. Yang made his own products. Zhang Chen suggested using soft suede pigskin or sheepskin as the material. Yang brought a lot of dyed leather samples, and Zhang Chen had a new idea. I randomly drew two backpacks made of suede sheepskin in different colors. He Hongmei looked angrily and shouted, "Why can't clothes defeat you? This designer bag can't defeat you. Is there any reason for this? By the way, you don't understand bags. How come you can even design bags?" Zhang Chen smiled and had no choice but to point out that designs are common and the difference lies in the way of thinking rather than the specific product rhetoric. Okay, it looks like I'm the assistant's fate again, He Hongmei shouted. After Yang made these two sample bags, he hung them in Zhang Chen's booth. As a result, many customers who came to buy the goods took a fancy to these two bags, which greatly increased Yang's confidence. For several days in a row, he was very busy during the day. By the time Zhang Chen returned to the factory or home, it was already dark. Fortunately, He basically didn't have to worry about the factory now, whether it was production or the renovation of the new workshop, including buying sewing machines. Zhao Zhigang and Lao Wan completed it in just 4 days. When Zhang Chen returned to the factory, they had already recruited people. After submitting the information from the Industrial and Commercial Bureau, Zhang Chen felt that his busy schedule had finally come to an end. He did not go to a Yang's house today, but planned to go home early. He wanted to go to the bathhouse on Sanbeo Street and take a good bath. Gusts of wind blew, gusts of rain fell, and the heat on the earth was taken away bit by bit. The weather at the end of November was already a bit cold, and the sky was getting dark very quickly. Zhang Chen said at 6 o'clock when I left the market and rode home, the street lights on the roadside were already on. Zhang Chen pushed his bicycle into the yard. When the landlord heard the noise, he opened the door in front of the hall and walked out. He asked Zhang Chen, "How late are you coming back?" Zhang Chen said and was about to go upstairs, but the landlord stopped him. "Are you paying those people twice as much money?" asked the landlord. Zhang Chen said yes. The landlord sighed and said you should wait a while. He returned home and came out with a flashlight in his hand. He handed the flashlight to Zhang Chen and told him, "Follow me." The landlord brother got on Zhang Chen's bicycle. Zhang Chen jumped onto the skull bag rack at the back. The landlord brother took him and rode towards their factory. Zhang Chen didn't know where he was going. The landlord brother was riding on the bike and was bored. Silent. After riding until they reached the yard of their factory, the landlord stopped the bicycle. He turned on the flashlight and took Zhang Chen along the edge of the drying field, showing Zhang Chen the vegetable patch outside. From the light of the flashlight, Zhang Chen saw when we arrived at the vegetable plot where only the landlord's brother and uncle lived, about 1/3 of the vegetables were taken away, while the other vegetable plots were not touched at all. Zhang Chen also felt strange. He called Zhao Zhigang over and asked him, "Have they not delivered food these days?" "Here they are. The vegetables we eat every day are sent by them." "We have been eating Chinese cabbage for 4 days in a row," Zhao Zhigang said. "Did everyone give it away?" Zhang Chen asked. "Yes, every family has given it away 2 or 3 times. Zhang Chen was confused. What's going on with this? The 3 of them returned to the office. The landlord then told Zhang Chen that the bad thing is that you paid double the price for the food. Now the vegetables they deliver are all bought from other villagers, and the prices have been increased. Then I sell it to you, and some people even go to Sanliting to wholesale Chinese cabbage and deliver it to you." Ah, Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang were both surprised. "You don't understand vegetables. You don't know how many vegetables there are in this vegetable field and how many days it will take to harvest them. As long as they don't cut all the vegetables in their own vegetable fields, do you have to keep harvesting them?" Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang looked at each other, looking at each other. Damn it, they originally wanted to do a good thing, but they didn't expect it to be like this. "Why are these people so bad?" Zhao Zhigang cursed. "Next to money, who doesn't think about himself? To be honest with you, it's my uncle. You see, he cuts the most vegetables. He is embarrassed to overdo it, but the vegetables he sends to you are, half of it was also bought from other people." Zhang Chen smiled bitterly and said, "We have probably become a joke now. In their eyes, we are just lure, right?" "Absolutely," the landlord nodded. Zhang Chen and Zhao Zhigang sat there, feeling their hands and feet cold. Zhang Chen asked the landlord, "What should we do now?" The landlord stood up and said to Zhang Chen, "I'll take you to Lao Yutu's house." The landlord brother took Zhang Chen and stopped in front of a stainless steel courtyard door. The landlord knocked on the door. After a while, the courtyard door opened. A woman stood in the door. When she saw the landlord brother, she looked behind her. After shouting, Zhang Chen saw the director walking over. It turned out that the director was Lao Yutu. The director saw the 2 of them and quickly let them in. When they entered the front of the hall, this place was different from other homes. Instead of a dining table, there was a circle of sofas. It seemed like they were in a conference room. The director invited them to sit down. Next, the woman quickly brought tea. The director told her that this was Boss Zhang. The woman smiled at Zhang Chen. The landlord told the director about the matter, and the director got angry when he heard it. He slapped the armrest of the sofa, stood up, and cursed. There are things like this that have disgraced our village. I haven't been there in the past 2 days. I don't know. Wait a minute. I'll ask the joint defense team to shovel all those vegetables right away. As the director was about to make a phone call, the landlord quickly stopped him and shouted. Then we're going to have a quarrel. We're really going to have a quarrel with the people next to us. How can the boss and the others stay here properly? Zhang Chen also thinks what the landlord said makes sense. This matter needs to be resolved without intensifying the conflict. If a fight can solve the problem, there is no need for a joint defense team. He will ask Xiao to bring 2 trucks of people to take out all the vegetables from the field. Just shovel it all away. The land is my land. I can do whatever I want. I can make noise wherever I go. If you don't agree and want to fight, then come. But after the fight, the factory is surrounded by a group of people who are eyeing you. They look for opportunities every day and want to tear you apart. It's very annoying. The landlord is right. If this is the case, how can you treat you well? Go down. The director's anger subsided slightly. He looked at Zhang Chen and asked, Boss Zhang, what is your attitude now? Don't worry, our village will definitely cooperate with you. Zhang Chen thought for a while and said, I still want to handle it properly, solve the problem, but also make them convinced. At least, logically we cannot lose. I think everyone is watching this matter now. Who can whether it makes sense or not, everyone can see this, and they all have a balance in their hearts. It's difficult, you don't know, Boss Zhang, sometimes there is no reason to talk to these people. Their skin is thicker than the city wall, and they just want to be tough. The director shook his head and said. Zhang Chen asked the landlord's elder brother, I don't understand the vegetable matter. Brother, please help me calculate how much the vegetables within the wooden pile are worth according to the market price. The landlord did the math and said it was about 3,000 cents, not more than 4,000. Zhang Chen said, in that case, I'll just pay them the compensation in one lump sum. I don't have to buy the food anymore. They will handle the food themselves. What should I do if they still refuse to dispose of the money after taking it? Asked the landlord. Yeah, what if that happens? This is not back to square one. Look, Boss Zhang, you are generous, but there must be a limit to your generosity. Don't let them regard your politeness as a blessing, and don't spoil them. The director continued, since you, Boss Zhang, have made your statement, I will call them all over tomorrow and explain to them clearly how much each family subsidy will be. Tell them clearly and give them 3 days. Within 3 days, let them you handle all the vegetables yourself, and receive the subsidy after handling them. If you don't handle the food, let the joint defense team handle it. There will be no subsidy, and the money will be given to the joint defense team. The landlord brother and Zhang Chen thought about it and decided that the director's method was better. It was also a courtesy first and then an attack. No one had anything to say. Within 3 days, all the vegetables were finally cleaned up. Zhang Chen looked at the bare vegetable fields around him and let out a long sigh. The landlord reminded Zhang Chen that you should take advantage of this time to fence the place first. If you don't fence it, they will expand in again little by little. Zhang Chen thought it made sense, so he asked Lao Wan to call someone to simply surround the place with asbestos tiles. The road ahead was 2/3 wider than before. Zhang Chen asked the peach trees in the factory to be moved over and turned into 2 rows of street trees. At the same time, the dilapidated road in front of the door was transformed into a spacious cement road. In this way, those ant-like neighbors can't continue to encroach, right? Thank you Leo, Chien Dad, and Bustling Farce for your monthly passes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all a happy life. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 600. The license was issued, the real estate certificate and land certificate were also changed, and it was December. Zhang Chen gave back Lu Ligan's 20 million and transferred the money originally in the passbook to the company's account. After the production scale expanded, the fabrics Zhang Chen originally ordered were not enough, so he asked Xiao Li for more. 20,000 meters, this way, we can still have a small climax before the Spring Festival. What's more important is that by ensuring quality and quantity of supply so that everyone can make money, you can stabilize those wholesale customers who were rushing for goods every day and have confidence in your supply ability. Walls were built all around, and the renderings drawn by Zhang Chen were posted in the office. Lao Wan couldn't hold it in anymore. He pointed at the renderings and said to Zhang Chen, I can do this, and there is no need to find a construction team. Well, let's recruit a few people ourselves, set up a maintenance team, and do it ourselves. I know all about this work. Zhang Chen knew that Lao Wan used to be a contractor. He led a group of people to undertake projects everywhere. In addition, he was also an expert. He had already completed a large-scale floor-adding project like Wanghai Mall. There was really no need to find anyone. Any construction team can do it themselves. Besides, this project of theirs is not a formal project in the first place. They plan to eat it bit by bit like ants chewing bones, recruit a few people, and be busy at the construction site every day. They are not in a hurry anyway. Once they are done, they will do that. Their time and progress can match the factory's time. You really need to find a regular construction company. They have their own timetable and work according to the contract. Their construction progress will not take into account the actual needs of your factory. What needs to be demolished must be demolished immediately. You can't wait even a day. Moreover, if you do it yourself, you can do it according to your ability. When the funds are abundant, you can do more, and when the funds are tight, you can do less. You will not be followed by others to ask for project funds. Zhang Chen agreed to Lao Wan's request. He said, okay, we will do it ourselves, a little bit every day. If you just work for 2 or 3 years, you can complete the entire project. Lao Wan and Zhao Zhigang went to the labor market. Zhao Zhigang asked, why don't you recruit your fellow villagers when there are so many of them? Lao Wan shook his head and said, those bad guys are not easy to control. It's better to recruit people you don't know and let them do whatever they are told. Zhao Zhigang thought about it and it made sense. When the two of them arrived at the entrance of the labor market, they found 5 bricklayers and an electrician among the 2 rows of people squatting on the roadside. And also do other chores, with food and accommodation included, and a monthly salary. Zhao Zhigang said to the electrician, even the machine repair work is usually yours, do you want to do it? These people all said yes. After recruiting them, Zhao Zhigang also incorporated the 2 original handymen in the factory into the maintenance team. Lao Wan was the team leader. Zhang Chen still couldn't figure out why the maintenance team was given such an unlikely name. It was probably Lao Wan. The construction team I originally led was affiliated with someone else's company, and was called a maintenance team. So a group of strange people appeared in their factory. They seemed to do everything. The first thing they did when they got up every day was to pack and ship goods. When the fabrics came, they helped move the fabrics and went to the machines when they came. They do all the heavy work in the factory, including lifting machines. After doing this, they go to dig the foundation. They added a tricycle to pull construction materials to the factory every day, and also added a second-hand concrete mixer, which was also spinning every day. After finishing other things, they went to the construction site to work. Zhang Chen saw the foundation of the factory building grows little by little every day. With this omnipotent maintenance team, the most convenient thing for Zhang Chen is that there seems to be someone to do all the work, and there is no need to go outside to find people. After this calculation, there is still a lot of money saved, and then count them, the cost of building the house was so low that even Zhang Chen was surprised. There are two other things that are urgent. One is that we need to go to Zhangjiagang again to determine the fabrics for spring clothes. Several sample workers have no winter clothes to wear now, so they are waiting to buy spring clothes. Also, Zhang Chen was going back to Yongcheng to pick up Xiao Zhao and Zhang Xiangbei. Xiao Zhao secretly called Zhang Chen several times, saying that he couldn't stay in Yongcheng anymore and wanted to go back to Hangzhou. Di and Zhang Chen cried. Ahaha, I almost forgot what our stall looks like. Zhang Chen laughed and said, why, the front line commanders and soldiers have been away from the battlefield for so long that they can't sleep without smelling the smoke. That's right, Xiao Zhao said, Zhang Xiangbei and I are not here, can you sleep well at night? Zhang Chen smiled and said, I can do it without the little rascal, but I can't do it without you. Xiao Zhao smiled and said coquettishly, my dear, I know you are the best. Come on, come on, come on, come and take us out of the sea of misery. I'll go. My parents serve you wholeheartedly every day. Is that a sea of suffering? Oh, people are suffering in their hearts. The suffering in their hearts is the real suffering. Zhang Chen knew that Xiao Zhao and his mother couldn't talk about Xiao Zhao's return to Hangzhou, so he could only speak for himself. Zhang Chen called his mother, but his mother disagreed and said that the Chinese New Year would be in more than a month. Well, why not? Let's talk about it after the New Year. After saying that, he hung up the phone. It didn't make sense, so it seemed like the only option was to take it by force. On Sunday, Zhang Chen asked Xiaoan to come to the store to help. He and Hongmei went straight to Yongcheng. When Zhang Chen's mother arrived at home, she knew what he was doing when she saw Zhang Chen, and her face dropped. Zhang Chen told his mother that both the factory and the store are so busy right now. Without Xiao Zhao, I really can't handle it alone. I have to go on a business trip. This store does all cash business, so someone must keep an eye on it. Now, there are still many customers who are only willing to discuss business with the boss and his wife. If Xiao Zhao is not here, I can't leave anywhere. Then Xiao Zhao went and took Bai Bei with him. What can he do? Zhang Chen's mother asked angrily. She looks after the store. With her in the store, I feel relieved. What about Bai Bei? Don't worry, I've already arranged this. I've found a nanny next door to where we live. Xiao Zhao can leave Zhang Xiangbei at the nanny's house every day when he goes to the store. Anyway, the store is only busy in the morning. There won't be much to do in the afternoon, the salesperson can do the work alone, and Xiao Zhao can go home and take care of the children. Xiao Zhao listened on the side and said quickly, that's okay, Mom, don't worry. There are many people in Sijiking who don't even have nannies, so the children are brought to the stalls by themselves. Zhang Chen's mother was still unwilling to give in. She said, you can leave if you want, and I will follow. Zhang Chen didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He said, why are you following me? Where will you live? Also, what will the old man do if you leave? Do you feel relieved that the old man is alone at home? He is such an old man, why should I worry about him? Of course I am even more worried about Bai Bei. Is there anything wrong? Zhang Xiangbei still has us, doesn't he? We are his parents, and he follows his own parents. What else do you have to worry about? We will still abuse him. Just don't worry, the Chinese New Year will be here soon, we will be back, and I promise to bring Zhang Xiangbei back to you in vain. Yeah, yes, Xiao Zhao kept nodding at the side. Zhang Chen's mother was still hesitating, So Zhang Chen said to her, by the way, our factory now has a large area where houses are being built. When the houses are built, there will be a place to live. You and the old man, all go to Hangzhou and live with us in the factory. I won't go if I don't go. I won't go to that place in Hangzhou even if you kill me. I'm not used to living there. Zhang Chen's father shouted from the side. Zhang Chen thought to himself, it's best if you don't go. This is just a delaying strategy. Who wants you to stay there all day long? Zhang Chen smiled and said. Our factory is surrounded by vegetable fields. If you are not used to it, if you feel like you have nothing to do, then use your spare energy and go to the factory to show me the communication room. If you like farming, I will do it on the side. A piece of land, potatoes, corn, cucumbers, and eggplants, you can grow whatever you like. Okay, that's okay. Zhang Chen's father was happy when he heard this. He turned around and said to Zhang Chen's mother, it's best to arrange it like this. What do you care about? Children have their own lives, and they have to live their own lives, just leave it alone. Although Zhang Chen's mother was extremely reluctant to give up, she couldn't stand the clamor from the whole family, so she had no choice but to give up. It was only 4 o'clock when the 4 of them returned to Hangzhou. Xiao Zhao wanted to go to the stall first. Xiaoan was so happy when he saw Xiao Zhao and Zhang Xiangbei. He picked up Zhang Xiangbei and kissed him again and again. After hugging Zhang Xiangbei, he handed him to Xiaoli, and she went to hug Xiao Zhao. Xiao Zhao told her, please help me call Sister Chu, and we will have dinner together in the evening. I miss her. Xiaoan quickly said okay. A Yang and the people at the stall next to him ran over when they saw Xiao Zhao coming back with the child in his arms. Even Feng Zhen didn't shy away from the fact that her nemesis Xiaoan was in the stall and came over. Zhang Xiangbei was twirled around in everyone's hands, and he was very proud of himself. He didn't cry and smiled at everyone who hugged him. We won't come to pick you up after you and Xiaoli go there by yourself. We still have a lot of places to run. Xiao Zhao and Xiaoan said. Xiaoan said I got it, you go ahead. Xiao Zhao called the Hunky Hotel, and it happened to be Sister Gihua who answered the phone. Xiao Zhao told her, Sister, I am back to Hangzhou and I will come right away. After leaving Sijiking, they went to the Red Flag Hotel. After coming out of the Red Flag Hotel, He Hongmei smiled and said, my dear, can you go home now? If you don't come back, I'm going to the factory to have a look. Xiao Zhao shouted. They arrived at the factory. There were originally many female workers in the factory. They heard that the boss's wife had returned with her children. Those old workers all knew Xiao Zhao. Most of the machines in the workshop were shut down, and people swarmed out and surrounded Xiao Zhao. Around them. After Kaidi took Zhang Xiangbei from Xiao Zhao's hand, she couldn't come back for a long time. There were so many female workers, like stars over the moon, taking turns to hold Zhang Xiangbei. Some people in Zhang Xiangbei went crazy, and the more people there, it seems the happier I am. Zhao Zhigang smiled and said, he is still a little flower girl, he is happy when he sees a girl. Zhang Chen glared at him, and Zhao Zhigang quickly said, I didn't say you were an old woman. People nearby laughed. Zhang Chen took Xiao Zhao around and walked around. Although Xiao Zhao had known about the situation here on the phone, he was still shocked when he saw it. Then he looked at the renderings in the office. What did she say? I don't believe that they really want to build such a big factory. Dear, are these all true? Xiao Zhao asked. Of course it's true. I didn't see that we had already started construction, Zhang Chen said with a smile. What, we even built the house ourselves? Xiao Zhao was surprised. Zhang Chen nodded and said, of course, there is nothing difficult about building a house. It just takes a long time. In fact, a house is not as complicated as a piece of clothing. The clothes have to cater to the tastes of many people. it is difficult to adjust to everyone's opinions. The house only needs to meet the requirements, our own needs are enough. This tone is really loud, Xiao Zhao thought, but after thinking about it, it was true. Zhang Chen had even completed a project as big as Wanghai Tower. Compared with this, it was nothing. After the two of them walked around, Kaidi also came back with Zhang Xiangbei in her arms. Xiao Zhao and Zhang Chen said, "Now we can go home." Not yet. Zhang Chen shook his head and said, "I'll take you to the nanny's house first to get to know the way and meet the people." "Ah, is there really such a nanny?" Xiao Zhao was surprised. "I thought you were lying to your mother." "Of course it's true." "You really want to take Zhang Xiangbei to the stall?" "Don't worry, I'm not worried." "The stall is so crowded," Zhang Chen said with a smile. "This nanny is a good person." She was introduced by the landlady. Hearing that it was the landlady who introduced it, Xiao Zhao couldn't help but feel relieved. "Thank you for your monthly pass to Bustling Farce. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all a happy life."